Okay, and okay, fair. I didn't read his diaries.
Me, I don't know why you didn't.
I'm sure you can provide.
No, shh.
So what does it mean?
No. The women are speaking.
All right,
The women are speaking.
That's mute number 2. The third mute, you go in timeout. Okay, El Normo?
No, I thought he was done now.
El Epstein.
No, he's not. It was a misunderstanding. So shut up. Hush.
Do you want to define Zionism? I keep asking you.
Guys, shapeshifter, stop instigating. Norm, stop being like re-instigating. It's gonna end.
Stop disrupting.
Guys, just
let Shape finish his question. Go ahead. So Theodore Herzl, you claimed wanted to displace Palestinians. Okay, I don't know that that's true, but if it is Shape, then I would argue that when Israel was founded, there were many different strains and interpretations of Zionism. Some that did include the Palestinians, and some that excluded them. Right. And the one that won out was the one that was the supremacist one, right?
Yes.
The strain of Zionism.
I'll go get you the
but I'd love to read it because I actually hadn't seen those quotes. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So why would one guy's diary somehow indicate anything except for one guy's thoughts? So weird.
Except that it's played out into genocide and ethnic cleansing over it.
How was it played out? He died before the state of Israel was formed.
Right. So the question we're evaluating, Normo, is whether or not it was doomed to evolve into something genocidal and supremacist or not.
You said it just like less than 5 minutes ago. Why don't you give us the definition of Zionism, which I asked for in the first place? Is that reasonable?
I didn't hear you. Okay.
Yeah, you did. You just
so it depends who you ask.
Ago.
It depends who you ask. I'll answer the question.
I'm asking you.
I'm going to answer.
Great.
So there's 2 different common definitions of Zionism. The way you probably, I assume, define it.
Don't say anything about me. Just read it from a book or a definition.
So the modern, the classic definition that modern Western Jews use is, Jews' right to exist in their historic homeland or whatever. But many of us Jews, people like me who grew up Zionist, right, with Zionist families and Zionist homes, we were taught about Zionism more as a historical movement that founded the state. And it was this magical, euphoric time in our history, and then it was over. And then the state exists on its own, and it evolved the way it evolved, and has not much to do with Zionism. So I'm what you call a post-Zionist. I think Zionism was a movement that founded the state. Ambivalent on whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, but at this point, we need new ideas, not old ideas.
Okay, so how about 2 words, Buttercup? Self-determination. How's that sound?
Can I get in the queue?
Wait, I'm going.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
For new ideas.
Let Agent jump in.
Well, wait, what about I want to ask Buttercup, how about 2 words? Self-determination. Doesn't everybody deserve that right?
Yes, and the Palestinians also deserve self-determination.
I agree that they deserve self-determination. That's why they've been offered a state 7 times. We always
not in 20 years, though.
Well, that's because they've been at war with us for 20 years after they.
That's not a reason to stop trying to solve the problem of ruling over.
You can't. It's the sound of one hand clapping. You can't make peace if the other side doesn't want to make peace. Go ahead, Rafi.
Go ahead, Rafi. It's Rafi has the mic.
Agent, 1 second. But you're saying we haven't tried, but we tried prior to. What's the definition of insanity, Buttercup?
The thing is, it's ruling over millions of people is not a long-term sustainable plan for the Jewish people.
Answer the question.
What's the definition of
insanity? Because that's a rhetorical question. You're going to make me say doing the same thing over and over again? That's actually, I'm so glad you asked that, Rafi. That's actually a great question. This is a point of agreement we have. So the status quo, Rafi, Israel's been doing the same thing over and over again. Its strategy hasn't changed in the last 50 years. And what has happened? It led to October 7, right? So the definition of insanity means we knew a new status quo, something different, not what we've been doing before, which has failed to deter terror. It's failed to deter our enemies, right?
Could I get in the queue? Terrorists, right?
Yes, no, Agent, you're going to go. Before, I agree with you, the IDF was operating on defense. Because before we would always get hit, we would do something and then
But their strategy beyond that, not just do something, they would be disproportional, right? And they thought a disproportional response would deter the enemy.
No, but hold on.
But it failed to deter the enemy, right?
Hold on, Buttercup, 1 second. For years, Israel was under attack, and it's true, right? We were under attack. Again, a rocket flew in here, a rocket flew in there, but But constantly, once a month, once a week, a rocket was flying. One time Israel goes in, and some Western country government comes in, says Israel couldn't do it, guys pull back, Israel pulls out. Again, we wait until we get fucking shot a rocket at. And I believe that was insane of Israel. Because constantly we were getting hit, we were trying to attack, and then somebody would come and intervene and tell us to pull out.
Great, so we have a point of agreement.
Hold on.
We have a point of agreement now.
Do you agree that this was happening, correct?
We agree that there was status quo has failed to protect.
Well, no, but he's asking you what the status quo was, because the status quo between two people just shaking hands
So
and then
I
one
think we're
punches
both
the
saying
other
the same thing.
is different. No, there's a difference between what he's describing.
Let me clarify.
So this time, Israel went on the offense, not on the defense.
No, they didn't. They were responded to October 7th. That's defense.
But we're on the offense now, and it seems to be working.
It's Lebanon is on the look at Israel. They're in Lebanon. That's offense. With the Hamas, how they hit them this start. How they hit Gaza this time. Israel never hit them before like that. It set them backwards. This is offense. This is different. And you see, Hamas is different now.
Okay, so that's where I disagree. Let me respond.
Buttercup. There hasn't been a rocket that has flown out of Hamas.
Am I allowed to talk or no?
Yes.
So you said this is different, what they did with Gaza. I would argue that it's not different at all, because in fact, if you've been following Gaza and you were paying attention during Cast Lead and Iron, whatever, all the different incursions into Gaza in the last 20 years, which we've watched closely, in each subsequent war, Hamas would strike, right? They would shoot a rocket, or they'd kidnap a soldier, or they'd kill it, kidnap a kid or whatever. And what would happen in response? Israel would respond disproportionately. They'd wipe out like buildings, and 1,000 people would die, right, for one person. Now we have something similar, where they came in and killed that. And the thinking, the logic, the strategy of Israel was having a disproportional response will deter for future attacks.
Right, we're over
But in
that
fact,
now.
what
Now
happened?
we're gonna eliminate the enemy.
Stop talking for 2 seconds, or I'm going to move you down. But in fact, what happened is each of these attacks, this disproportional response, not only failed to prevent another attack, but the next attack was worse, and the next response was worse. So this has been like an escalatory system of like 5 or 6 wars in a row that culminated in October 7, that ultimately culminated in the Jewish people committing a genocide, right?
That's not
The
true.
children of the Holocaust committing a genocide, what I
That's not
consider to be
true.
genocide.
Trying to get him to
So listen, this is how it ended. What I would say it's a continuation of a previous trend that is not actually continuing the status quo. It's not breaking it.
No, before October 7th, we were not in Gaza.
Norm.
Yes.
1 second, that agent.
There were 5 wars in Gaza, Al, before October 7th.
Well, what was the death count of those compared to this one?
And we were
It
not
was
in
a
Lebanon.
similarly disproportionate.
No,
There'd be like
you know-
there'd be like
you know
6
what we're
dead
doing
soldiers,
now?
and there'd be 1,000 dead Palestinians.
Now we're eliminating
Mostly
the enemy.
civilians.
That's a different We're eliminating
Would it,
the enemy.
So if someone can
Not the board, shut the fuck up. Pudia, go back to Australia,
I'm
Pudia.
talking to myself, sorry, and shut the
Steve,
fuck
shut
up.
up. Steve, you have to shut up.
Amir, you shut the fuck up too.
Steve should know the debate rule.
Is it my turn?
Okay, yes, it's your turn.
Thank you.
Go.
Yeah, I wanted to just touch on that. So the question, going back to the question, which was this the genocidal blah, blah, blah inevitable, or was it there was some way to avoid it? It goes back to the one-hand clapping analogy that someone mentioned.
That was me, Agent.
Yeah, that Norm mentioned. So, yeah, I think there could have been kumbaya for sure. Like if the peoples surrounding Israel, the neighbors of Israel, they have I view them as having agency, both individually and collectively. Now, had they chosen to make peace and freely trade and just be good neighbors and supportive neighbors, even try to maintain the defense of their neighbors, in fact, like make sure there's no rockets being fired from their own territories into Israel, or just straight up taking their armies and attacking Israel various times. It could have been a beautiful relationship between Israel and and the regions, and there wouldn't have to be. I'll just take your premise and say there's a genocide. I mean, then there wouldn't have to be a genocide if Israel had never been attacked. There would not be a genocide.
I hear what you're saying. I hear your point. What you're ignoring is the fact that there were spoilers on the Israeli side as well. When there were attempts, good faith attempts at peace, there were spoilers within the Palestinians and also among the Israelis, right? It was Israelis that killed Rabin and tried to thwart the Oslo
That was
deal.
one
Right?
Israeli, not plural Israeli.
So,
But there were actually mobs of them in the streets trying to thwart it, right? They had lynch
He would have
mobs.
been jailed.
There were lynch
one
mobs.
killer.
There were.
No, this is not
You want to see videos of them?
No,
Of the mobs of the
there was
Israelis
one
opposing the
person
deal?
who did this.
It's very
Now, we do have, you know what's different? Now
It
we
was
have the
incited by
Abraham
lynch
Accord.
mobs that filled the streets
No,
of Israel.
it was not. He was a crazy person. They put him in
Modern
jail.
Top.
I'll just put a link in the chat to the mobs.
Please, with the links in the chat. So
In
we
fact,
do have,
Netanyahu was involved in those
we have
mobs.
peace with Egypt. We have peace with Jordan. We have peace with Lebanon. We have peace with UAE. We have peace with Bahrain. So this is
You
something
deny that
other
there's
we're trying.
spoilers on the Israeli side?
What's that?
You
Why
deny
are
that there's
changing the
spoilers on the
topic?
Israeli side that prevent
What are you
peace?
talking about spoilers? We have the Abraham Accords. How's it? What is spoilers?
I'm saying there's no Kahanis that thwart peace in the Israeli side.
He's been dead for 30 years.
Yeah, everybody shut up for 1 second. Everybody shut up for 1 second. Buttercup, do you have Yaakov blocked?
I don't think so. Let me check.
Well, check, because he can't come in, and I know Glow and Daniel are not blocking him, and so aren't I. So
You
I'm
would
blocking
never
him.
block.
You don't make.
Hold
peace
on.
with- You make peace with your enemies. There was no war between.
No,
that.
we have been. No, we've had
Here,
agreements
I'm gonna
with
copy it.
What
anybody.
do you mean by peace? There was no.
All right, you know, I'm gonna go down for a second.
Go down first.
There was no war
Yeah.
between UAE
Yeah, what
and
the-
Israel. So
And there was no.
I don't really want to unblock some of these people.
We
So
have
you
peace
can, I'll go to
cooperation
Do you
and
understand
security.
how
Seriously
peace-
blocked.
Maybe you don't know the definition.
We have peace, cooperation, and security.
What are you
Don't look
talking
into you.
about?
I'm talking about the Abraham Accords. Maybe
That's
the
not a-
news didn't
What are you
reach.
talking about? There was no
Sure,
peace.
that's peace, cooperation, and
Yes,
security.
there was a
In
peace.
fact, UAE now has mutual defense with Israel, which
Yeah,
is
but there was no
also a
war.
change. These are all
Your
new
enemy
things.
that you had war with.
These things did not
Maybe
exist
you don't
before
understand
Trump.
the definition of
I guess
peace.
there's one maybe you don't understand.
Buttercup, 1 second.
Didn't we have a war with Egypt? Now we have a peace deal. Didn't we have a war with
UAE? No, there was
Now
no
we have
war
a
with
war.
UAE.
Didn't
It's
we have a war with Lebanon?
Sweetest.
Didn't we have a war with Lebanon? Now we have a peace deal.
All right, everyone mute up.
So, you know what we're learning?
UAE. There was no
Now
war.
we're learning about peace through strength.
Hold on. Buttercup, how do you have Yaakov blocked?
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
just weird.
Anti-Semite.
That's just weird,
He
bro.
hates Jews.
He talked a lot of shit about me. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
I talked about your politics. If I ever said anything personal, I don't
Yeah.
remember it. And I
He's
apologize.
the most
Okay.
mild-mannered person on the app. If you
I
haven't,
know. I thought we were friends. That was really
Stop
hurtful.
interrupting
Okay. Well,
Epstein.
I apologize, and I don't remember it. But if I did and I offended you, that was not my intention.
you're literally the least offensive person on the app.
I mean, I can play it if you want me to roll the clip, but
No.
What are you gonna play now?
No.
I'll bet you $10 you have no such
We're trying to
I
mend
accept your
fences
apology.
and now
I
Epstein.
accept your
I'll bet you. I'll tell you.
It's
I don't
truthful
know.
and honest. It's truthful and honest. So,
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt.
He's your people's, unblock him, let's move on.
thank
Okay.
you.
I have one question.
Fuck off, shame.
I have one question for Buttercup. If you just block all these people, don't you just create an echo chamber in your room? You want an echo chamber with just one side of the story?
That's what she does. She's
No,
in the
there's certain
media.
people who came after me, Glow, and they put me on a list to prevent me from coming to Israel. And they put me on a list they put my mugshot on a thing called Canary Mission to paint me as some terrorist
I did not.
anti-Semite. But Yaakov participated.
No.
Yeah.
Yaakov participated in the doxing that.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
I will agree.
Did you want to? Okay, we don't have to go over it.
We got her! She can't go back to Israel! Oh my
It has to do with
god!
politics, Glow. It has to do with being.
And Normal probably has done that. He's in a
Buttercup, you're a terrorist, Buttercup.
Well, Normal, you're
You
not
believe in the violent
private room.
destruction
Or
of
can you give me the mod back, Ref? I'll help you babysit.
No, but you have the people, you have the
So a
I
baby
don't
is.
have them all blocked.
You're
unblocked.
Am I unblocked now, Buttercup?
You've destroyed your credibility.
Hold up. Buttercup, hold up. Let's be fair. I don't have anybody who wants me fucking dead locked. I let everybody come into this room to speak.
neither.
Even I modded. Hold up. I even modded you, right? You saw my good thing. But you have a bunch of people blocked. Like, are you joking? Preventing others.
But they actually came after me in a violent way, though.
What violent way?
That's
You're
a lie,
saying that
Buttercup.
I don't like echo chambers.
Ruckle.
I'm here. Nobody's coming in violent. But you can't have people blocked, Buttercup. I'm sorry to say. You're preventing other people that.
All right. Well, then I can't be on the stage. I'm sorry. I really enjoyed talking to you, Rafi. We'll do it again some other time.
You're a bad
Buttercup,
person.
do a talk live if you wanted to.
It doesn't matter. You didn't have any. You didn't have anything genuine to say, anyways.
You're a shonda.
You're the Shandarachel!
No, I am better.
Shame on you.
Yeah, but you're doing the dance of joy right now.
No. She got what she deserved.
Yeah, you were. Hold on. Hold on, Soren, shut up. Okay, guys, let's get back to the.
Thank you. You can say shut the fuck up, Soren. Pudia.
Okay, good guys. Norm, stop instigating. Let's get back to the topic. Zionism, right to defend or ethnic cleansing. Who hasn't spoke?
I think everybody in this room agrees that everybody deserves self-determination. So everybody in this room is a Zionist.
He said, who hasn't spoken? Al Normo gets off the mic.
Everybody.
Not Epstein.
Norm.
Everybody.
Not Epstein and his followers.
Soren, shut the fuck up. Norm, shut up.
Sure.
Perfect. But hey, Buttercup, I can't bring you up. Keep going fucking into the odds. There's a fucking game below. Bring her up. Fuck, she's so annoying.
So Soren and El Norma, have you guys fallen in love lately?
I did it.
Guys.
I think you need me to help
Soren and
babysit.
Norma, have you guys fell
Yeah,
in love?
but I want you to unblock a bunch of fucking people. Stop blocking.
How about I
people.
screenshot my block list? I'll share it with you, okay?
Share with me. I'll tell you who I need you to unblock.
Fine, deal.
Comes in.
Deal.
Let's be fair. Then you can
Fair.
screenshot and block everybody.
Can you do a talk live with me? I'm trying so I can.
Hold on
Later,
1 second.
Jakob, not now.
Let me deal with Buttercup right now. Here, let me mod her up. I'll mod her back up. I'll be fair. And I hope you're
Am I out for a block list? Am I out for a block list, Buttercup?
Hold on, cat love.
Should I leave the room? I want to be able to come back in.
Derisive! Hey! How was your pride? Are you feeling more prideful? I looked up gay rights today. Turns out there are no such thing. There's just advocacy, and there's a couple, 10 things. I was like, what are the top 10 gay rights? One of them was adoption rights, and no harassment at work rights.
Are you blocking BB? Oh no, BB's in the BB.
Why do you have to mod her if she's got everyone blocked? Just
Well,
not
we're
be
gonna
modded.
go through her list quickly right now. We'll demod. Like again, if there's some people that need to be blocked, we'll leave them blocked. If some people that is just not fair, I will.
This is so
Alright,
much
so you want me to
extra
DM
work.
you in the back channel?
Just be a normal speaker. Don't be a mod. This is ridiculous.
I'm not shouldn't be blocking.
Well, I'm a good moderator. He needs help babysitting.
You can mod
You're a
without a
horrible
badge.
moderator.
This is ridiculous.
That's a way of talking to a lady.
Well, no, that's the honest truth.
Guys.
I believe in honesty, unlike
No wonder why you still think.
I'm not single.
Thanks for bringing this up, Soren. You're the one that can't talk to women. You told me I should be raped by IRGC, so you should shut the fuck up.
And it's your
Wow.
life.
He told me he was asexual. Is that true or not? Isn't that
You're
weird?
Zionist. That's
Isn't that bizarre? But you're a Zionist.
You're a Zionist
Aren't you?
and a liar.
Aren't you a Zionist? Don't you believe that everybody deserves
Not
self-determination,
Epstein.
including the
I'm not a
Jews?
follower of Epstein.
But Epstein is dead. He doesn't have
Well,
any
his
power.
ideology is still alive. Look at my.
What is his ideology?
Look at
Lydia?
the guy
Tell us.
next to the.
What is his ideology?
What's the name
Tell
of
us.
the guy next to Epstein?
You mean in the AI that you created?
It's
You
not
have
an
a weird,
AI. He's
you
your
have a
friend.
weird sexual fascination with me, and
It does look sexual.
We have you on
he's,
record.
he's a very sexual
No,
person.
we have you on record.
What do you mean? I don't. No, you don't. You're
Alright,
a
so look at my
liar.
block list, Rafi.
I said over and over, there's nothing to defend. He's a dead man. How do you defend a dead
We
man?
have you on record. There's no way
You don't even make sense.
How is
could
it
you possibly
normal to
defend a
chew?
dead man?
Asked Danny
Okay,
from
no,
the
Buttercup, you want me to back
What is
down?
a waste
There's
of
there's
time?
like 3 or 4 people I want you to unblock. You can
Yeah.
do that.
Text me who and I'll unblock them.
Okay.
Oh my God, does this have to be all about her and her crazy
Are you
shenanigans?
jealous?
No, it's wasting time. I want to watch this game. I want to watch the United States kill Bosnia-Herzegovina in soccer. The same way we're watching Israel and the United States kill the IRGC in real life.
Oh, you're jealous
is
because you keep on talking. All you want to do is talk.
No,
you're jealous.
no.
Let's
If
hear
you have
from
something
Jude.
intelligent to say, go ahead and
You're
say it.
jealous. You
Let's-
just.
What do you have to
I wanna
say
hear
that's
it.
intelligent?
Happy
I have to
Canada
say?
Day.
I don't really
Happy
have
Canada
much
Day.
to say because the foolishness in this room on both sides is really low. And so I have nothing. And thanks for muting. Oh. It's foolishness from both sides.
So let's hear something intelligent from you.
No, first of all, I was trying to tell this guy that I should stop attacking you because it's running on
Everybody stay off mute so we know you're muted because you can speak. Because when you're
I
just
was
muting,
speaking,
nobody
but I
hears.
was accidentally muted.
Yeah, I know. Make sure you're always off mute before you start muting. I think it's one more person actually. Buttercup, 1 second.
Yeah, this is me and Epstein, by the way. This is before I knew about his allegations.
I want to hear some other voices. Kale, what do you think? Was it a
Yeah. This is. I just came here. I'm a new voice. Thank you.
Okay, horrible. Do you have any thoughts on whether or not Zionism was inevitably going to turn into genocide, or whether there was hope there was an idealistic version of it that could have been
That's not really
salvaged?
the question, though. It's the question.
Wait, hold on.
Whether we deserve the right to self-determination, like everybody else. That's the
Whether it was a
No.
supremacist
Well,
system by
Israel-
design, was it supremacist
Yeah.
by design,
Yes.
or was it did
Yeah.
it evolve into that?
Well, Israel's the only country that actually has this concept of religious supremacy. Name one other country where this is the case. So they obviously have. No,
Yes.
no, that's not the case.
They have
No.
can't drive in Saudi Arabia.
Iraq? Are you kidding?
Iran, I said. They're not allowed.
Iraq. No, that's not true, by the way.
100% true. Non-Muslims are
No, it's
not
not.
allowed in Mecca. 100% true. And then, in fact, there's a separate road for them. It's Muslims this way and non-Muslims the other way.
Okay, cool. So Israel and Saudi Arabia are both pretty bad, right? Wouldn't you agree, Normo, that that's kind of bad?
Exactly the opposite. So Judaism, first of all, is not merely a religion. It's an identity and a family. So it is not religious supremacy. It is just nationalism. And every country is nationalistic and should be. French believe in France. British believe in Britain. Americans believe in America. We're cheering for America in the soccer game right now.
But you can't become
Yes.
part of this. You can't become part of that.
Sure you can.
See what I mean? You just
Sure you
said,
can.
you
You
just
can.
said it's not a religion, it's an ethnicity.
No,
You're
I
the only
said it's an identity.
ethnic.
I didn't say
Oh, wait, what?
I said it's an identity.
It's an
Which is what it
ethno-tribe,
What the-
to be honest.
What's
I
that?
don't
What's
agree
that
with
mean?
it's an ethno-tribe. Okay.
Explain
I'll tell you what it is.
identity. Can I become a fucking Yehudi?
I'm
Can
delighted
I
to
become?
tell you. No, I want to answer
Very
the question.
excited
You need
right
to
now.
learn.
Can we
I'll tell
bring
you
it down?
exactly what it means. We're a family and a nation and a tribe with a land and a language and a set of laws and a calendar. That's what an identity is. Do you understand now, Horrible?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
No. Okay, that's cool. Okay, cool.
great. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not here to argue. I do think now that since it has happened,
Yes.
you guys can for sure have self-defense. Okay?
Absolutely.
But hold on, I'm trying to say is there's a lot of problems here. I'm not just an anti-Zionist like this. I say Zionism, the problem with Zion is I don't think a country has to fund you. So, for example, I think even if it's, I don't care if it's a fraction of a percent. I don't give a fuck. Why do we fund Israel?
Exactly.
How about that? How about that? Like, why do we have to fight? Aren't you guys good enough? You're the only.
Not because we have to. Nobody has to.
Who's we? Who's we?
We America. We America. We America.
If you told the average American, do you actually think this would be the case?
I don't think we don't.
Really? Okay.
We make decisions by
talking
democracy.
point. Israel's moving to a different model. It
Or are you vegan?
occurred almost 2 years
I'm a Jew
ago.
from New
What are
York.
you?
I'm a Jew from New York.
Hold on.
Then what do you
Israel,
have with Israel?
starting about 2 years
Well,
ago.
because every Jew in the world has a place in the land of Israel by man's law, that's Israeli law.
Bullshit.
Hang on, I'm answering your
No,
question.
no,
Hang on.
I've been barking for
Every
a very
Jew
long
has a
time now.
place in Israel
Listen,
by
I've been
law.
barking for a very long time.
No, I'm not barking. I'm answering your question.
I don't have a right of return for the Arabs.
Greece has a history of sabotaging.
Many countries have a right of return for their people.
Absolute disgraceful.
Who's the people of Israel? You would
The people of
have.
Israel are the Jews, obviously.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
not for a long
Well,
time.
that's the definition.
Too, Mr. Norm.
That's the
And
definition.
by the way, somebody with a nose like yours does not get to condescend other people's accents.
Sure I do, but people love my nose.
You cannot
Listen,
condescend
sweetie
other
pie.
people's accents.
Women love my nose. You know what they say? Big nose, big heart. People love my nose, and of course I'm gonna condescend to
I'm
it.
very tiny
I'm gonna
brain.
condescend
I'm
to
very
it. Fuck I
tiny brain,
do.
apparently.
Of course I'm
Very
gonna. Well,
tiny.
I
Do we
have
want
a
to
point
move
with
this in a
big
more
heart.
intelligent direction?
Gosh, you Ashkenazi, big
Let's move
nose
this
is a
along.
big heart.
You've shown.
I also have a big soul, by the way.
I'm not even listening to you, El Normo.
Then
because
why
you
are
have
you asking me
literally talked
questions?
for the last half an
Don't
hour.
ask questions if you don't want to hear the
This
answer.
should be renamed as like El Normo talking point.
That's correct. So what do you want to do?
Let's get back on topic,
Yes.
guys.
I think he does like me. I think she's flirting with me right now.
Okay, so go forward in a different room. We're going to hear from Kalev now, okay?
Okay.
Kalev, was Zionism doomed to begin with to become a supremacist system, or was there something
Yes.
idealistic and salvageable about it?
No.
We already heard your opinion, Kitover.
That's
Thank you
not
for
the
sharing. We
question.
heard you.
The question is, do we deserve self-determination like everybody else? And the answer
We
is
heard you
yes.
also with Normal. You've said that 4 times. Now it's
Okay,
Kalev's turn,
then
or
don't change
Eval,
the
or someone who
question.
has interesting thoughts about this.
I'll come to your question. I want to answer a different one first. I think Zionism is not just the right to defend, it's the right to not be genocided.
Why are you yelling in
But
Russian?
but the right to not be genocided doesn't mean you can't become your worst nightmare. I believe Zionism was not supremacist from the beginning. I still believe there is a version of Jewish self-determination in the land that is inclusive of everybody who was there. We need prophets. We need new dreamers of this stuff. Yeah, I think that's
Can
what
I
I
push
think about
back a little bit, Kalev? So, like, do you think that for early Zionists, like as idealistic and pure as their intentions may have been, maybe miscalculated? They believed no one was there, right? They miscalculated the
I don't
extent.
think they knew.
They saw them as like
New people were there. They
They
didn't see the people.
not
who
to
were
the they thought that they would easily take over the land and these were barbarians and they would
there.
welcome
They wanted
their
to
sort of
share
more
the
civilized.
land.
I think that's a caricature.
rhetoric.
Well, they did
Yeah,
do
no, it's
things
true.
to. There was an
That was
organized
the
process,
proposal.
right?
Norm, with your forgiveness, could I just go back and forth for a couple minutes?
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
So if you read like Tom Segem, right?
I think it's a bit of a caricature, right? I think, as you say to us often, right? There's nuance, it's complicated. I think the Zionist movement was pretty diverse from the get-go. And there were different people that knew different things, that were willing to admit different things, that were willing to say different things in public and in private. They knew there were people there. They were also trying to escape a terrible situation, right? So I
I
think
guess I'm asking
Let's
if
write
by
that
design
news.
it was supremacist.
Stop interrupting him, please.
no, it's okay. No, I don't think it's supremacist by design. When I read the Declaration of Independence, I don't see a supremacist document. I see a Jewish set of documents.
Do you think
Bingo.
Herzl Zionism was supremacist? I mean, it's a different time, right?
The Declaration
there
of
were some-
Independence.
I think there were some Zionisms that we would label that. that wouldn't be the kind of Zionism that would not democratic. Yeah,
What about
I
the
think there are some.
revisionists? Were they supremacists?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're good, but I don't think supremacist.
Zionism, in a word, is about Jewish survival, as Caleb.
Norm, would you allow Christians to own Israel? Because apparently the Muslims and the Jews can't get along
The
properly.
Jews are doing great.
But
I don't
hasn't
know
revisionist Zionism led us to this point, where it culminated in genocide, or what I consider to be genocide?
Well, it's not a personal definition.
Well, it seems like you're not capable of running. The Jews are not capable.
Considered to be
The Jews are not capable of running a country without destroying everything because their ideology seems to be to want to bring about the Messiah.
Not true. Not true.
No, I'm bringing the eschatology of why they do what they do. And once you understand why they do what they do, right, you'll see why they blow up everything. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is the last resort when people won't stop killing us. It was the last thing that we did. We didn't destroy Gaza for the entire time. Finally, after October 7th, it's okay. Give us back our hostage. We're going to take you apart.
You are holding the Muslims prisoners.
Wait. Everybody's talking. Everybody's talking at once.
You are pouring concrete into their drinking water that their kids drink. And then...
We provide drinking water. What are you talking about? How ignorant can you really? How ignorant could one person...
You have been doing this since day one.
Cora, you're completely wrong. We were supposed to share the land. They rejected the partition. Why did they reject the partition? Why do the Arabs think they should get all the land, Cora? Right. Why do the Arabs think they need all the land, Cora? Could you explain that, please?
Well, the Muslim Brotherhood's problematic.
Why do they deserve all the land?
I agree. I agree with
So
you.
you've got 22 countries, almost all the land, all the oil. How greedy can one people be?
Baseless and ridiculous argument.
They didn't get 22 countries? Did we count them together?
I'll tell you what. Just because I'm a Muslim,
Did they get 22 countries or not?
And start claiming land there.
Wait,
so
did they? Wait a second.
You have
Did they get 22 countries or not?
The voice is much louder, so I want Cora to have the mic for a second.
Absolute ridiculous argument.
But it's true.
Oh my God! Just shut up.
Okay.
You're
shut up.
Mute up, Elle, and Corey, you have the mic for 5 seconds. For 10
Don't talk to the lady like that.
Why not?
Okay, learn patience. Learn to listen.
No, you should learn patience.
Just shut up, Normal. Shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Stop disrespectful to
women.
No.
Shut up and listen.
Wait. So you're going to respond to what I said?
No. If you're going to talk over me, I'm going to keep talking over you. I'm sorry.
You can. I said to you, it's fine. You got 22 countries and all the oil.
The actual reasonings to why your argument is absolute bullshit.
Okay, tell me which part is false.
I cannot claim land in Saudi Arabia. So just because you're a Jew does not make you an automatic claimer of the land in Israel. Firstly,
No, it's not automatic.
Examples. No, listen.
It's
Just
historic.
the examples from the Torah, by the way.
We're already in the land.
Clear. Again and again.
Right.
The Torah refers to the Israelites as people.
Right,
and
that does.
Israel is a person, it's not the land. You don't have
No, it's the land of Israel. Everything is
what
royal.
land belongs to you. Listen.
Okay, you're
you don't
just
have latitudes and
misinformed.
longitudes to what land belongs to you.
Say
God
again?
is not a realtor. He's not a real estate agent.
Never said he was.
So all of this argument is absolutely bullshit.
It's not the argument.
Why are you guys are you trying to tell me that you're so horrible that God wants you to restrict to one piece of land?
No.
Why do you think
No,
God
we're
would
telling
want
you
to
that
restrict
we
you in
deserve
one piece of land?
self-determination in our homeland.
That you can be anywhere in.
I'm not telling you any of that.
You to be in Israel.
What I'm telling you is that we deserve self-determination in our homeland like everybody else. Our homeland is Israel. You can disagree, but I'm sorry, you're just wrong.
I agree. It's in the Quran. It's in the Quran.
Because Muslims might have.
Guys, when you're speaking, wait for the other person to finish and then respond. I'm gonna mute you a few times and then I'm gonna move you down for a timeout.
Listen,
I am
talked
correcting the Muslim.
El doesn't stop talking. I literally came in, drew my point, just
Cora, you understand many
El
people
hasn't
are
been talking
native
for
to
the last
that
half an
land,
hour.
right?
So if he doesn't stop Buttercup, you need to move him down because we haven't done that one.
Now you're going to say, now you're just
Go on, then.
you agree that there are
She
many
has a
people
good
who are
point,
native.
El Normal. You gotta go in timeout if you keep interrupting. Let Cora speak
Okay,
for
I'm
2
not in-
seconds.
Okay, how much longer? How
Just
long do
mute
you want
up
to
and
give
then
her?
you get to speak, okay?
How long do you want her to have?
She gets at least 30 seconds. You can set a
30
timer.
seconds is fine. Go.
Then mute up.
Great.
Good.
My time starts now. So just because Muslims, as you made a ridiculous argument, Muslims have more land, so they shouldn't need Israel. That's a bullshit argument. Just because I have 2 houses doesn't give anybody else the right to just kick me out of my house saying like, oh, you already have 1 house, give me another one. That is an absolute bullish argument, and it doesn't work anymore. It absolutely doesn't work anymore because these crocodile tears have been seen by the world, and that doesn't stand around anymore. Not in international law, not in the eyes of any legitimate organization, not in the eyes of any United Nations, or you name it, you have it, International Court of Justice. It doesn't hold the argument, firstly. And secondly, this is ridiculous. You have the whole world. Just be a part of the whole world. Integrate with the whole world. Why do you need a small
Okay,
piece of
that's
land?
your 30 seconds.
Only by commitment.
That's just 30 seconds.
Thirdly,
Okay, that's 30 seconds. We timed it.
Palestine.
Hang on.
Didn't come
Hey, listen, hang on, it's my turn now. Sorry.
You guys are the culprits.
Sorry.
Alright,
Not
good.
your 30.
It's true, Cora. Now
You are
normal
arguing.
gets 30. You normally get 30 seconds.
Quiet now, Cora. I gave you 30, I was quiet. You argued against something that I didn't say.
Oh my
There are many
God,
people.
Hey, let him finish, Cora. We want
You
to make it time.
argued. Now I'm going to start over.
You're gonna get another mic, don't worry.
You argued against something that I didn't say. I didn't say that we kind of take somebody else's land. I said that there are many people who are indigenous to that land. There are Arabs, there are Yazidis, there are Druze, there are Samaritans, there are Jews. The Declaration of Independence of Israel is very clear. We have full intention and full action to live peacefully with our neighbors. The League of Nations in their wisdom, the United Nations in its wisdom, said that Israel would live on one part and the Arabs would live on another. That's already been established. That's international law.
30 seconds is up, and you just sound like you're spitting.
No, I started. We have to start over
You sound like you're speaking
It's true.
very more
30 seconds. Thank you for keeping time,
Yeah,
James.
30 seconds
Thank you.
are up.
It is now. We have to give me more time.
No, you
Both
just
of
sound
them.
like
No,
you're
we don't.
spitting.
It was 30 seconds was the agreement. Now it's Cora's turn again.
You're slurring your speech. Get that check.
Both the League of Nations and the United Nations decreed that we would share the land.
8, 7, 5.
Okay, Cora, go on.
Great stuff. So you talk about these amendments and these agreements. Who put these agreements there in the first place? If it was not for the Balfour Agreement, Israel, the current state of Israel, would not have been there in the first place, right? Read about the Madagascar plan. Read about
It's the United Nations.
She gets a new 30
Hey,
seconds. New 30
we're doing a
seconds.
minute now. A minute. If you interrupt again, she gets a full minute, okay?
I'll take a minute as well.
El, you have some issue. I
No
don't think
issue.
your wife listens to you.
If you
enough.
interrupt again, it's gonna be 2 minutes, okay?
Get it out on other people.
No, not true.
Alright, Cora, go. If he interrupts you again, you get 2 minutes. Now it's 1 minute.
Right. So all of these agreements where you're like, we have Abrahamic Accord, we have this and that. In the eyes of the nation, you don't know how the global East sees you, right? It is complete bullying because you have the power of America behind you. We are not even going to get into the rabbit hole of how you got this power of America to basically back you up in all the wrongs that you're doing towards so many countries, towards what you've done to Jordan, towards what you've done to Lebanon, towards what you've done to Palestine in the very first place. This all started with you. Palestine opened up their arms to you. And then you kicked them out of their own homes. The Nakba happened. So many atrocities over so many years. You're forcing their children to have waters that are contaminated. You're forcing them into an open-air prison. No food, no water, no right to exist as a first-class citizen, all second-class citizen rights, and even less. And then you question why they put up with the resistance. You have the right to, you have the audacity to question them. There are so many accounts openly where you have zip-tied babies. Zip-tied babies. Why do you need to do that if you're just trying to fight Hamas?
That's the minute. Okay, that's the minute. So again, you are spewing all sorts of anti-Semitic myths. We're not zip tying babies. We're not poisoning anybody's water. We have peace with Lebanon.
Oh my
We have
God.
peace with Jordan. We have, these are written arrangements.
Yeah,
Written
peace
treaties.
of Lebanon, you want peace of Jordan, you want that peace.
No, we
It's
have
not
PEACE.
peace.
This is the English language. We have peace.
Do not
Why?
interrupt.
Because our neighbors do not want the Muslim Brotherhood on their land. They do not want Hezbollah on their land. They do not want terrorists, and neither do we. The world
Created
hates
those
terrorists.
terrorists.
Hang
You
on.
created
Okay, I
those
get another
terrorists.
minute. Now it's being interrupted. Great. Thank you
Yep.
for the extra minute. So when you said the Palestinians did not welcome us with open arms, in fact, there was no such thing as Palestine then, and there's no such thing as Palestine now. I want to make this very clear to you. There never was a Palestine. There is no
30
Palestine
seconds,
now.
Al Norma.
Thank you. Well, you gave me a minute because she interrupted. If you want to create a Palestine, Israel is open to it, but you will have to live peacefully with your neighbors. If you want to resist, we're going to resist right back. And we are bigger and stronger. If you threaten Jewish lives, we will eliminate you. We
Gotcha.
will come and take your guns away.
You
Point
made
your
your
gun
point.
at us, and we're coming for you. Okay, go ahead, Cora.
Coming back, lovely. If America pulls their ass out of your system, you will be shivering like
Not at all.
rats.
Not at all.
That is
Quiet,
literally
Quiet, Victoria.
you
We're going to
guys
take you
are standing
down.
up. Listen, I gave you a minute to speak all the bullshit.
Quiet. What
Now
do
let
you
me-
disagree with that I said? What do you disagree with?
L, yeah, I give you the minute to speak your bullshit. Now
What do
listen
you
to me,
disagree with
right?
your bullshit?
Number one. Number
Now
Let her
we
land
have
her
to
point.
listen
Let her
to
land her
your
point
bullshit.
for
It's okay. Listen to it. Listen to it.
Now
Then
we have to listen to your
Listen in
bullshit?
your own time. Now I need to restart my minute, right? My minute restart.
Wait, what do you disagree with that I said, if
If
anything?
America pulls out their resources, you guys are FUCKing. Number one.
How
Number
filthy
two,
your
and
mouth
the
is. What a
whole reason
vulgar,
you are
filthy
what
woman you are.
is because
You're like
of
a
America.
beast.
Number one.
Beast.
Number two. How you have bullied America to do your dirty acts, we are all seeing that. We've all seen Epstein files, we're all seeing that. Number three.
Wait, what does that have to
You
do
talk
with
about
Don't call off the bell. Let her finish her thing.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, you have a minute left, Cora, and Eleanor, don't interrupt again until she's done.
Well, no,
And
she's
then
got to be docked for cursing. There's no cursing allowed.
Yeah,
Very
she
filthy.
didn't. She spelled it out. She spelled it.
You don't. She said shut the fuck up.
Literally mocking
She said
people
shut
for
the
their
fuck up.
accents.
Okay, everyone.
We heard her, Alex.
Try to be nice. The end.
Number three, right?
Wait, what
you
was
talk
1 and
about-
2? What was 1 and 2?
Number one, you are nothing if you don't have the backing of America.
That's
Number
false.
two, we know how you got the
Okay, you
backing
can
of
refute it
America.
later.
Yes, Al Epstein, just listen.
Okay, how long is the series, Cora? How many numbers?
Number
How many
three,
bullets are in there?
Let me finish. But
No, just give us an idea so he knows how to set up the
I don't know.
response.
I think we'll think about it once my minute finishes.
Like 5, 10.
Oh my God, honestly, just.
I'm trying to organize the conversation so that we can.
Okay, let me get to number three before I actually forget about it.
Go.
Number three, you said there was no Palestine before whatever, before Israel came into being.
Ever.
It never
No,
was,
then
never
and
has.
not
Which is
now.
absolute bullshit. I can send you information. I have a map of Palestine from 1526. 1526.
Who was the
That's
president?
Northern Territory.
Who
I
was the
talked
king?
about it today.
Was it a state?
talked about
What was it?
I will send you the whole detail in
So what
the
was
list. Exactly. What
What
was
was
it?
it?
It's the map of Palestine, and it says.
So was there a president or a state or what? Did it have a border? What is it?
It was a land.
Oh, it's a land,
other
like
land.
Israel.
It's
Okay.
a piece of land. No, Israel
So, okay, it's a piece of land.
Oh my
So there's
God.
no
Israel
Palestinians.
didn't exist. Israel. There's
Well, no, the
mention
Jews
of Israel.
existed,
Before
and Israel is our
1947,
homeland.
there's no such thing as Israel apart
But
from.
apparently it
Israel.
exists, right? Isn't that
Apart
what you're
from the
upset about?
Stop interrupting.
Are you gonna keep talking over me?
Okay, I'm back.
Well-
Before 1947, there was no
I'm
mention
back
of Israel
now.
anywhere apart from the prophet
Well,
Israel.
that's not
However,
true.
Palestine.
That's not true. It's in your
Othello.
Holy Quran.
Shakespeare in
You
Othello.
can read your book. It's in your book.
That is
It's in your Holy Quran. God gave them. No, it says God gave them land for the people of Abraham. You haven't read.
Yeah. Stop. Whoever's muting.
He just
I
proved my
guys,
point. He's
no,
basically
hold
talking
on,
out of his ass.
Cora,
My
Cora,
discussion.
What a
But who was muting? It wasn't me. I didn't mute. Was it Glow?
What a
Did I forget to unmute again?
Okay, hold on.
What a
Anyway.
rat.
I'm muting everybody. You guys are behaving like children. I'm gonna treat you like fucking children. Again, we have a one fucking mic policy. Unless you are retarded and you're going off on your mic while somebody else is speaking. Okay? You know what a one mic policy is? I don't know if they never taught you where you guys come from, but it's a one mic policy in this fucking room. Buttercup, who was speaking, who was next?
Cora was speaking and Norma was interrupting.
No interruptions, Cora. Land your plane. Please. I've been listening because I've been hearing.
We did a new rule that worked really well, Rafi, which is she gets a minute, and if El Normal interrupts, then she gets 2 minutes, and if then he gets a minute, and if she interrupts, then she gets 2
we
minutes.
didn't agree to that. I didn't agree to that.
Well,
Rafi and I are the
Norm, I'm gonna give it to Buttercup because you used that for yourself. You added yourself an extra minute. I did hear it again. I had you in my ear.
It wasn't 2 minutes, it was 1 minute.
I understand when Cora interrupted you, you added yourself an extra minute.
No, I just started over. I
understand you said you gave me an extra minute.
No, I just started over.
Norm, don't bullshit a bullshitter.
I'm not bullshitting you, I'm telling you the truth. I timed it.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter.
I timed it.
Take over.
All right, Cora, you have a minute, and after a minute, El Normal has a minute, okay? Go.
Yeah, this is my final stance. When El Normo says absolute ridiculous stuff like Palestine didn't exist, I have multiple proofs that Palestine existed, and he has just proven his limit of knowledge, right? He says the Quran talks about Israel. He talks about the Prophet Israel. Prophet Israel, it was a person. It was not your latitude, longitudinal land, governed by what's his name? Netanyahu. It was not that. If you believe that, there's nobody as ridiculous to talk to as you are, firstly. And then lastly, Palestine, Othello, Shakespeare talks about the land of Palestine. What's his face? The famous child author, his name will come to me, talks about Palestine way before Israel's even absolute mention came into being, right? And then I have physical maps, and I will send you all the details of that maps from 1526. 1526, with the whole map from the river, you guessed it, to the sea, a land of Palestine. And inshallah, one day we'll be free. You can say whatever you want. My literal argument is...
Okay, Norma, do you want to respond to that?
Of course. So...
You have 1 minute.
Yeah. So, there is no such thing as Palestine. There was a land. There was never a state. Before it was the land of Israel, it was owned by the Ottoman Turks for 600 years. There was no Palestine, there was no Palestinian, there was no king, there was no president, there was no ruler, there was no state, there was no current, there was no economy, there was no Palestine. The Ottoman Turks were defeated in World War I. The League of Nations said to the Brits, please administer this. That was the mandate of Palestine. The explicit role of the mandate was to return the land to its indigenous people. Those indigenous people were, by the ruling of the League of Nations and later by the United Nations, the Jews and the Arabs of the land. They partitioned the land under international law. The Jews got a tiny little bit. The Arabs got a big amount, including Jordan, which had never existed before. The Jews said, thank you, we'll take it. And the Arabs said, no way, we are going to get rid of the Jews. We're going to commit genocide. They tried, they failed, they lost. The Arabs attacked repeatedly, they were defeated every time, and every time they attacked, Israel grew a little bit defensively because we saw that we could not trust our neighbors. While we are resolved to live peacefully with our neighbors, and we now have peace deals with most of our Arab neighbors, Lebanon, as recently as 2 days ago, the Palestinians have peace deals with precisely nobody. They are violent terrorists that have been expelled from Jordan, expelled from Lebanon, expelled from Kuwait. Nobody wants them. These people calling themselves Palestinians are professional terrorists. And if they keep threatening Jews, that will be the end of them. Thank you.
Anyway, let's get some new voices in here.
It's not an open thread, by the way, Al. Was that an open threat?
Well, look, obviously.
He's like 1,000,000 years old. He can't threaten
I'm
anybody.
not 1,000,000 years old.
No. Honestly, was
But
that an open threat? Because that sounded like.
He's not capable of threatening anyone. He's barely alive.
You are very old.
I'm quite right.
If you were.
You look old. You look like you're in a museum, bro.
So, well,
You look like you're in a museum, bro.
I don't know what that means.
It means
Stop the personal attacks right now. We're not gonna do it. I'm gonna push you down if you start personally attacking anyone.
he's just a little old.
Thank you. No, I'm not old. I'm in better shape than you, and I could easily kick your ass if I chose to.
That was a violent threat.
Don't bother a Jew because there's going to be bad consequences.
That was a violent
So what I said, Cora,
That was a violent threat.
My point is he's harmless. Don't worry about it.
I want you to be very clear. If you point a gun at a Jew, we will come. We will take that gun from your hands, and we will not do it gently.
And what if
Any
you guys are the
questions?
ones
What is he talking
Are there any questions?
What if
What's this guy talking
about?
Point a gun at a Jew. We will take that gun from your
Who's
hands.
talking about God?
We will not do it gently.
I just said you look old.
Okay, you self-proclaimed
Any
victim.
questions?
What if you guys are
said
the
you
ones
look old,
actually pointing the Jews and
He's
bullying
like the
them?
octogenarian with
change the
his
topic. I
gun
wanna
going,
know-
get off my lawn.
If there,
If you're the ones pointing the guns and bullying the world,
Yeah.
well,
what
we're
should
not
be
bullying
your
the world.
end?
We're a tiny
But
little
you are.
country.
But you are.
No, we're not.
But you are.
How are we bullying the world? Explain to me.
You have bullied
We're the
genuinely.
same small country that we were in the beginning.
Weird control with
We're one of the smallest countries in the world.
How small?
How are we threatening the world?
Nothing. But we
I think Soren wants to pipe up. Guys, let's hear some other
Small
voices.
country that we were when we.
Guys, mute up.
Yeah, let's hear Soren.
I want to hear from Soren. Soren, go.
Look, obviously the previous speaker, the mouthpiece of Hezbollah agents, Lomo, he didn't cover Balfour Declaration. He didn't talk about the fact that this.
How is that relevant to anything?
Well, it was very relevant because the
How is it
Rothschild
relevant?
letter.
El Oldo, stop talking.
I mean, the Rothschild letter is very clear. I mean, the Balfour Declaration is pretty much clear. It says this land should be shared among the.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
That's
So
what we're
obviously-
doing.
Yeah, I mean, the matter of
It's
fact.
the League of Nations that matters and the United
I mean,
Nations.
the reality is that when you look at the populations of indigenous people of
Yeah, like
Palestine,
the Jews.
yeah, we
Like
had
the Jews.
Palestinians, Muslim. We had Palestinians.
All right, don't interrupt El Norma or I'm going to give him more time. Soren, you have 1 minute starting from now.
Thank you.
I mean, I've heard this guy 1,000 times. There's no
All right, you have 2 minutes starting from now. Stop talking, Elnor.
I'm going to watch the game.
You have 3 minutes starting from now, Soren.
Thank you. So Balfour Declaration, when you look into it, it was actually signed in the 2nd of November.
Watermelon
I can
rainbow.
say, okay, let's see the populations of the area which was known as the territory of Palestine at that time. It is very clear. The population is very clear when it came to the
$90 billion
ethnic
development rate.
minorities, which at that time were Jews. In 1917, ladies and gentlemen, we had 56,000 Jews living in Palestine. Only 56,000. And then, if we move forward to the 1947, 1948, when this settlement colonial projects happened, 660,000 Jews. The question you might ask is this: how did the population grow from 56,000 from 1917 all the way to 1947, 1948? I mean, we're talking about something like 30 years. This massive population growth did not happen organically. It did not happen because they started having 7, 8 babies. It happened through the massive immigrations, mainly because of what happened in the Second World War, the Nazi Holocaust. A lot of Ashkenazi Jews decided to leave.
They're
Poland,
right.
Russia, and they
That's
came.
their right.
So this did not happen organically. So we're talking about an area which for years and years and years, the Mizrahi Jew, what is known as Mizrahi Jew today, along with their cousins, the Arabs, the Muslims, they were living together. They had pretty much the same culture, same rituals, same lifestyle. But he believes in Hashem, they believe in Allah. The other one believes in Jesus. But they know the area, they know the neighborhood. And all of a sudden, they opened the door, they realized that some people coming, to them, they were Europeans. To them, there are some people coming from Poland, from Russia, from Germany. And they had to come, and they came through what is known as Nakba. They displace hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to other lands. This is the Palestinian perspective. This is the fact that the reason they didn't accept that very first declaration in 1948 is because they knew that these people, but that 52,000, yes, they were original, they were authentic, they were indigenous people of the land. But the massive immigration happened afterwards, but mainly as a result of the Second World War. They didn't see that as organic immigration. They see them as invaders. So you might make this argument that 3,000 years ago their grandfather passed by Jerusalem. You can make that argument. But the matter of fact, people at that time, they knew that these people are not from there. They knew the Yaakov from Jerusalem, one of those 50,000, but they didn't know the other one from Poland. They said these people, they didn't even speak the language. They didn't speak the language that the Mizrahi Jews were speaking at that time. They saw them with a different culture, with some food, and that's why they didn't accept. They said, okay, you are 10% of the population, you can have 10% of the land, but not 50%. That's the way that I think the way I look at it. But again, you can make this argument that the Jews passed by there 3,000 years ago. Self-determination means that even self-determination of Jews living in Poland, you can make this argument, but people are going to laugh at it.
Okay, thanks for explaining, Soren. That's very good information. I would like to add that if it were me, I mean, if I would look at myself, and I would be 3-4 generations into living in another country, but my people are still living there in Iran, I would make the case that I have every single right to move there back again, especially after the Second World War. So if that makes me an Iranian Zionist, then I am an Iranian Zionist.
Can I ask a question to Soren?
Go for it.
So I understood that you just explained the Palestinian perspective and also just like kind of glossed over the Jewish perspective. But why is the Palestinians' history more relevant than our history?
Can I answer that, Soren?
Go for it.
Thank you. That's a very good question, right? And the answer is very simple. The relevance depends on what are the actual turn of events. When people say like Palestinians didn't make a deal because they didn't want peace, that's absolutely ridiculous. I'll tell you why. If this is my house and somebody from the outside comes and says like, oh, this land belonged to someone else like thousands of years ago, so please give me 10% of your land. For them it might be a good deal, but for me it's still a bad deal because I'm losing my house on the pretext of what? Nothing.
Well,
So that's why when that's why when I say like this is my house, I need to protect it, that right now in this narrative is relevant. But if somebody else is coming in saying, no, but I only asked for 10%, just give me the 10%, that does not stand any relevance. As I said, like I am a Kashmiri, right? And my ancestry is from Iran. But under no circumstance can I go back to Iran right now and say like, oh, excuse me, my great grandfather was from here, like probably 150, 200 years ago. So give me your piece of land and kick somebody who's already living him out because apparently I am the real, I'm the real person from that place. It does not stand the relevance in the eyes of International Court of Justice.
Yeah, Laura, but you're not acknowledging the fact that Palestinians willingly left. And then some of them were expelled, right, Em? Okay.
Left where?
But okay. No, so in 48, some of them left because of fear, right, of the war.
No, because they were told that they were
There's actually no evidence of that. They did research.
That's not true.
That is a myth. That is one of the myths that they teach kids in school.
It's not true. They willingly left to neighboring countries.
Okay, can you give me one?
So many of them tried to come back, and the Israelis prevented
Did Palestinians not go to Lebanon? Did they not go to
Yeah, and they were told to be temporary, and when they tried to come back, they were killed.
But Buttercup, but the problem is that they. Can I just?
Not all of them.
Actually,
I'm trying.
One authentic.
No, Cora, let's actually settle this because this is important.
I'm trying to
Cora, this is a myth about the expulsion in 1948 that we need to.
So Buttercup, can you let me finish my sentence? I was responding. And everybody's interrupting.
Yeah, the mic is yours, girl.
Okay. You agree that there were Palestinians that willingly left, okay?
Yes, and do you agree that's
No, hold on.
genuinely need
Hey, Cora,
some
stop
relevance to
interrupting,
this.
please. We're having a conversation, okay?
No, you're interrupting, Buttercup.
I know, but this is something. Listen, M and I
But
have the
you're-
same Zionist indoctrination, so I need to settle this with her. It's very
What
important.
indoctrination? You're literally
Because I was told the same stories as you, and this is why we need to settle it.
because you're cosplaying as a Zionist. Don't call yourself a Zionist. Don't
I'm
call
not. I'm
yourself.
I'm a post-Zionist, not a Zionist.
You're disgusting, is what you are. But anyways,
Don't call me Zionism. I'm being kind to you. I've never said anything to you.
Just because she doesn't fall into your myths that you created, like self-proclaimed witch.
So, Cora, let us have it back and forth, okay? Just give us the mic for 2 seconds, because I think this is something we both heard the same, we were raised with the same information, and then there was a point when I picked up a history book and I read the other side of the story, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Em, I'm saying you only have half the story, I think, I suspect.
I just want M to
Can I just please?
Cora, you're really like giving me a hard time combo.
Finish my train of thought? Buttercup, you agreed that there were Palestinians that willingly left. Whether
Some,
we agree,
yes.
hold on. Okay, thank you.
But
Whether
they're
we
out of
agree,
fear, though, and they tried to come back.
But
and we're
I'm not telling you.
Stop
Jesus Christ. You hold people to like a standard, but then you're like, you contradict
The mic is yours.
yourself.
Keep going.
Okay, we don't agree on why they left, but let's move on from there. Okay?
But
Then-
can we just settle that you agree that 30...
I said.
You agree 30,000 were expelled from Lebanon?
I give up. Buttercup, you're right. No worry.
Okay, well, we need to acknowledge the multiple truths from M.
This is what you want, Em.
We need to establish the facts. Some left, some were expelled, right?
Don't fucking let her finish speaking. Do you hear me?
No, this is the stupidity that Rafi allows in his room. It's fucked up.
No, Glow, we need to establish some facts. That's what we're doing here.
I'm trying
Don't
to
yell.
finish a train of thought, and then you can debate me. Like, what is
You
wrong
asked me
with you?
to confirm a question. I'm saying
Buttercup,
let's
you're going
establish the
in and
facts
out.
together.
Stop interrupting.
Glow, stop. We're trying to establish a fact.
Em, go on, please.
No,
We're trying to establish whether they left or were expelled. Let's establish that.
Em, finish your.
No, it's okay, girl. It's okay. Honestly, I just.
Well, we're trying to establish a basic fact before we move on.
everybody, one at a time.
No, Rafi, honestly, shame on
Why shame on me?
Shame on you for letting somebody like this mod your fucking
What
room.
do you mean shame on me for letting somebody mod this room? Guys, you're getting on stage to debate them. I
Yes,
give a
but
fair debate,
Buttercup
so you want me
keeps
to
interrupting Em and
silence
doesn't
it?
let
Hold
her
on.
speak.
Hold on.
We're
So
trying
you
to
want me
establish a
silence?
fact, Glow.
But I understand, but no interrupting. Everybody gets 1 minute to speak, 1 to 2 minutes. Land your plane, and nobody interrupts. Somebody interrupts, you give them an extra minute.
Okay, but if you ask me a direct question, like, did they all leave?
I think I'm allowed like 15 minutes at this point.
Okay, well then don't ask me rhetorical questions on the way.
Again, guys, just land your planes, make your peace, say your comment.
Go, you have a minute. Go.
If anybody wants to rebuttal it. Go, guys, seriously. Sound like children. I'll do this. Yeah.
Em, the mic's on you. Go.
No, I'm good. I have nothing to say to you.
All right, so I'll go first. So, like M points out, there is a narrative that most of the Palestinians in 1948 left of their own volition, right? As some people say, there was a radio warning from the Arab armies that were coming in, warning them that they were about to come in, and then the Arabs fled, and that's why the Nakba happened, right? That is a narrative that I was raised with. It's a narrative that M was raised with. It's a narrative that probably Rafi was raised with, right? However, the new historians in Israel, looked through the archives. In the 80s and 90s, the IDF declassified their archives about what happened in 1948 during the war, and they revealed some explicit orders, particularly during in Lud and Ramla, to evict tens of thousands of Palestinians at gunpoint. And initially, the plan was only to come in to towns and villages that were hostile to the Israelis, because there were some towns and villages in 1948 that were not hostile to the Israelis, and they were supposed to spare them, but that's not what happened. They ended up being indiscriminate and running through many villages and expelling the citizens of many villages that in fact were friendly or sympathetic to the Israelis. And so in the 1990s and 80s, when they declassified this information, Benny Morris and Avi Shlaim and all these new historians in Israel kind of reset the record. It's not that you and I were lied to, it's that they only told us half the story. They only told us about the people that fled, and they didn't tell us about the people that were
I don't need
expelled.
you to tell me that I was lied to.
You were not lied to. You were told half the story.
No, I wasn't.
All right, now you can have the mic. Your turn. No. Okay, so as I was saying, the other half of the story is that tens of thousands of people were expelled from Blood and Ramla, and that is in the IDF records that became declassified in the 90s that kind of reset the narrative, right? But, you know, I don't know how old you are, Em, but I was born a little bit before those things became part of the narrative. So I was told, like you, kind of a sugar-coated version of what happened in 1948. I would love to hear what you think about 1948 and how it unfolded. But I think the consensus today is that many of them left of their, were forced out at gunpoint. Some of them fled in fear because there were massacres. The IDF soldiers came in and massacred people in very brutal ways, and there are many, many IDF records and accounts that document that. And some of them did, in fact, leave of their own volition. So yes, that was a combination of the three.
The fact is, the buttercup that ends opinions are based on opinions, not facts. So when you ask her to present something, she goes absolutely mute. That's because she doesn't have anything to prove.
That's not true. Because you spoke over me. You spoke over me, and I would have finished my point, and you could have said, "Can you provide sources?" I would have provided the sources for you. But I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight two people talking over me and not even letting me finish the sentence.
So we're going to give you the mic for a minute.
No, I'm not talking to you because you guys don't.
I want to hear you.
It's
no, I want to hear what you have to say, Em. I'm actually curious.
Listen, how do you guys expect her to even say anything when every time she wants to talk, you talk over her and she loses her train of thought? Why would she even engage with you when you can't have a civil conversation and you want to be a dictator all the time? Stop interrupting her.
It's because she doesn't want to speak, Lo. She literally said that. She doesn't want to.
We're begging her to speak, Lo. She won't speak.
She's not going to
discussion. You have to.
All right, Cora, we are not going to shut up, and we're going to give her a minute to speak on her own. We're not going to talk, okay?
How can it be? Are you civilized?
Yes, Glow, stop calling us names. Okay, Cora, we're going to be quiet, and we're going to just leave silence in the room until Em's ready to talk.
I don't even think she wants to talk to you guys anymore.
Yeah, no fucking shit, Glow.
I can talk.
You can literally just ChatGPT why Palestinians left willingly.
Well, I can see
in 1948.
This is something that.
Sorry? No, I'm just saying. You know what? I don't. It's not even worth. It's not even worth my research to talk to you guys.
Why is that? Why is that such a cop out?
No, don't downplay Palestinian pains. Don't say it's not worth my time.
It's not worth my time because talking to you is not worth my time.
Downplaying people.
Talking to you is not worth my time.
Unlike you, we have suffered. Unlike you, we have suffered.
Who's we? Are you Palestinian? No, you're not. Okay.
Kapura, I'm just curious. Like, you can ask, or not Kapura, excuse me. If you look at, you can just do ChatGPT, whatever you want. Just ask it why did the majority of Christians leave Palestine? These aren't the rabid Muslims. These aren't the terrorists, the jihadists. Ask why did they leave? What were the conditions that made them leave?
Pepe, I'm not talking about Christians, and I don't care. I really don't.
But the Christian Palestinians, they are Palestinian.
But they were mostly a minority, and that's a separate conversation than what I think I jumped in on. The whole 1948 conversation and how, like, the whole Zionist narrative, like, we were only told half the truth. Okay, fine, whatever. But if you want to say that all of our history is BS, or that we only got half the truth, is there really nothing then of the Palestinian narrative that's maybe they got half the truth? Maybe not everything that they were told growing up, or that they were told from their family members is also true? Do you think that's also a possibility? Or
who are you asking? Who are you talking
I'm asking
to?
generally, but I mean, I came in here when Buttercup was talking about 1948, Benny Morris, new historians, and Cora, I think you're Palestinian, right? Is there a possibility, maybe?
She's not Palestinian.
I'm not Palestinian.
Okay, whatever. Well, okay, but you seem to be catering to their side for whatever.
It's because we have a very similar story from where I come.
Right.
We are an Christian as well.
Yeah. What's your background? Sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable disclosing that here.
Okay, so the general story is that you could whatever happened with what happened to the Palestinians in the general narrative and scope of the world, the history of the world, isn't so different than what happened to many peoples across the world. So to take the Palestinian narrative and highlight it that it's so unique across history is really a disservice generally to history. First of all, yes, I'm not done. Hold on. Secondly, this whole Benny Morris, 1948, new historians, taking a mirror to Israeli Jewish society, like, look what you've done. Even that book, and even Benny Morris would say himself, right, that it's not fully, it was research, but it's not 100% complete. That's not the best word I'm using. But even he would say that there was no, you could say displacement until maybe 47, 48, first of all. Second of all, it wasn't an Israeli army policy, an official policy of the government of the Knesset to kick out any Palestinians because if you look at Israel today, you see most of the Israeli Arabs live in the north, and most of the south does not have any Israeli Arabs. That's because there were one of the two main generals, one of them decided it was best to kick out, remove, or deal with most of the Israeli Arabs in the south for whatever reason. There was a war. This happens during a war. And in the north, that wasn't necessary. And also, even after the war...
It's true. He does say it was because of war, not by design. But he does say that their expulsions happened, right?
It wasn't a policy, though. It was.
But there were orders. There were direct orders that are documented.
Orders, but it wasn't a
including one that came from Ben Gurion, kind of implied wink, wink.
It was not. No. It was not a policy, because if it was a policy, you would have no Israeli Arabs in the north today. Which is why
it was not a widespread policy. You're right.
You're right. It was not a widespread policy, but some generals saw that it needed to happen, and some didn't. Even after the war ended, they allowed some Palestinian Arabs back into the land to be together with their families. So there is you could say our version of history is bullshit, fine, where we were lied to, we were actually savages, okay, whatever. It's a war.
I'm not saying we're savages, John. I'm trying to make it more nuanced.
Right. But I think that even with that history, I think when I came in here and I heard you with the various 1948 new historian narrative, I think there is I happen to know more, and there's a lot more nuances within the Palestinian story that I don't think they even want to talk about, especially around what was the major quote-unquote massacre that happened that they always highlight? Deir Yassin, even that.
Pantora.
There's a lot. No. Deir Yassin's the main one. Deir Yassin was the one that kicked all of this off. Lots of Palestinians, because of the propaganda that was spread by both Israelis and Palestinian Arabs after, a lot of them got scared and they left on their own volition.
Yeah, and I mentioned that. Some of them, their atrocities were committed and it scared them off, right?
Right, that's how the majority of them actually left, because they were scared off. But
so those numbers are debated, John. Would you agree that it's every story is a slightly different figure?
The battle at Deir Yassin, the kickoff.
John, there is some of these figures are debated. How many were expelled? How many fled? How many were
What's not debated, what's actually written in a book by an Israeli Jewish historian that actually took most of his sources from Palestinian Arabs themselves, was a book written about Deir Yassin and what actually happened there. And mind you, I'm going to pinpoint this because a lot of people will say, well, he was just a really Jewish guy, whatever, he's religious. Most of his sources were Palestinian Arabs themselves that were either there or there right after. And they're saying how it was not really a massacre, it was way more of a battle than was previously thought. The specifics around what happened there is not what the main Arab propagandists at the time said that happened. There were no rapes. There was no mass killing of people being lined up and hacksawed to death and all that. But that propaganda spread, and a lot of Palestinian Arabs were scared of that, and then they left. And there was no other surrounding Arab villages that came in and helped out. So I'm just saying, and I'm going to put a bow on this right now, and then you guys can have a conversation about this. There was a lot more issues within Palestinian Arab society around being together, around nationalism, around staying in the land. They were selling land constantly up until 47, 48. Even after 48, they were selling land. So this whole history of this place is a lot more nuanced, is a lot more distinct than the larger Palestinian narrative like to say today. And then
Okay. Firstly, oh my god, I don't know where to even begin. Because when you started this conversation, you said like, oh, in many areas, okay, fine, Palestinians left, whatever. That's the problem. That's the problem. The narrative has always been like, okay, yeah, so what, Palestinians suffered, but this is what happened with the Zionists. And by the way, I never use the word Jews because I don't think Judaism is, a synonym for Zionism. I think they're two very far off ideologies. I think the actual people who have even read the Torah know that they have to have, by the word of God, they have to be in exile until the return of the Messiah, but I'm not going to go into that debate at the moment. Right. So number one, the downplaying of the pain of Palestinians is what bothers me the most. You said like, oh, what if they must have also been told half the truth? The problem is that is what the world has seen all this time till we have just had the new exposure of the social media. All they have seen is one side of the coin, is one side of the narrative. All they have seen is like, oh, we need Zionism because, people are suffering, people are suffering, but completely disregarding the fact that, okay, no doubt, people, especially Jews in the Europe, have suffered a lot at the hands of atheists and white Christian nationalists, right? Not at the hands of Muslims. But somehow it all became the problem of Muslims after 1947. It all became the problem of Palestinians, who were the only ones, by the way, that welcoming people with open arms, right? And now, okay, they were selling their land because they were being forced to sell their land. In many cases, they had to sell their land because it was like, okay, either get a little bit of money or get nothing at all. In which case, it was better to get a little bit of money than to get nothing at all. All of this had been going on for a very long time. By the way, this is again, I'm talking about Zionism. I'm not talking about Judaism. Because Jews had been residing in Palestine for over eons. Nothing had been destroyed, nothing had been touched. In fact, all the churches, all the mosques, everything was safe. Even under the Ottoman Empire, for 800 years, the key stayed safeguarded, and that finally has been destroyed under the regime of Israel, right? So whenever, and just shut up. Anyway, just whenever.
Because you're lying. That's a lie.
I got this.
Okay, yeah. I'm lying, and you're the self-proclaimed, Messiah. Anyway, like this narrative, the world has always seen this narrative. So when finally Palestinian stories are finding light, and we have not only seen it, you mentioned a few books, but I can also mention a few books. In fact, a few names as well. We have people like I know you guys love calling them self-hating Jews or whatever the name is. Like we have people like Noam Chomsky, Norman Finkelstein, we have Gabor Matter, we have Ilan Pappé, we have so many people who have done so much research on this subject.
Cora, you have four. You have the four that you named, and maybe five. That's it. That's the one.
40% of American Jews think is a genocide. Does the 1 minute might apply to Cora as well, or no?
1 minute? Sorry, John. I don't think you talked only for 1 minute. Sorry, Em.
I got this. You can go on and on and on.
Everybody.
Sorry. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. The narrative has. There's a very famous saying in Urdu, right? It says, "Lashkar bhi tumhara, akhbar bhi tumhara. Tum jhoot ko sach likhte ho, sarkar bhi tumhara." Which means like the mob is yours, the leader is yours. Even if you want to portray false as right, the leader is yours, the newspaper is yours. This has been happening since forever, right? The narratives are finally coming out, and that's why it's so important to tell the Palestinian stories now more than ever. And we're seeing it in real time. This is genocide unfolding, and all I can hear in this book is like, yeah, it is, but whatever. What if you guys would like to?
It's not a genocide.
Okay, let's not even start with that. Okay,
I just want to play back because
no, John,
that rhetoric gets people here hurt.
John, you've had your time. It's my time to speak, right?
The stochastic terrorism argument where you can't be critical of Israel or Jews is just because people do bad things. You can say that about any group, and it's not.
Okay, you play both sides of the fence. Shut up.
I feel like that as normal guy did the same thing. He was like very clear words from his mouth. Palestine bad, me good. That's not how world works, and that's not an actual argument, right? In order to actually say that, okay, this is what happened, you need to give some weighing evidence. You need to support it with weighing evidence. Palestinians were in that land. Palestine has always existed. Israel, on the other hand, has never existed. And when you name the word Israel, even that was a prophet, that was on the piece of land. Now Israel came to existence after the Balfour Declaration, right? And who was it signed by? Rothschild. Let's not even go into that rabbit hole. Let's not even begin to. But before that, there was another piece of land that was kind of like the British mandate, British plan to unfold, which was the Madagascar plan. But okay, finally, because it was a good area strategically to place your allies in, to place the army in, very conveniently they were like, you know what, let me explain.
This is all bullshit. Palestine didn't exist any more than Israel did. Like, this is so fucking retarded.
Hold on, Cora. What's the main gist of it? You're going all over the place.
I will give you so many proofs that Palestine has always existed.
I don't care. It's fine.
It might not be the country of Palestine because...
Cora, are you like have a monologue going or what?
Cora,
you have a monologue going. It's been 15 minutes. It's been 15 minutes. It's not even comparable.
No, it hasn't been 15 minutes.
Cora, I never said...
Because I'm not on your side. I'm not speaking on your side.
I never said...
I'm sorry, honey, the world doesn't revolve around you. It's not your narrative or nobody's narrative.
Too long monologues, because when you bring up a bunch of different points, you don't allow people to respond to your point. Okay, try to keep it at one point so they can respond to your point and then move on. If you just go and this and that and this and that, how are they gonna respond to it?
I love how it flows. This moderation only comes out when I'm speaking. Anyway,
you were speaking for a very long time.
No, John had been speaking for a long
I
time.
mean, you are discounting your which is where you just keep on going point after point after point, and then nobody can address any single point, and then it becomes like a wordless conversation.
That was my conversation to John as well. He mentioned a lot of points, and I said the same thing. I was like, you mentioned point after point after point. I don't know which one to answer first and in what order. So this does happen when people are going on a tangent. Deal with it. You didn't say anything when he was talking, and that's because I can tell that why that is in the very first place. I know why that is.
I did. I was caught. There's Zionists on here that have a problem with what I'm saying too. So but with all due respect,
let me wrap this up with a bow after you're done, Cora. I'll let you finish, obviously. Are you done?
Well, honestly, I've been interrupted so many times. I paid you the respect to talk uninterruptedly, but I've not been met with the same, respect. So, yeah, you go on, you finish up.
I'm sorry that it happened. It was, to be honest with you, it was a little hard to, you were, and I get it, tensions are high, blood pressure's high, whatever, but you were kind of going in and out, but I will try and wrap up the sort of debate here. And if we want to, I don't care what existed before, existed after, and so on and so forth. The way that the world was going back then, and that the way that the things happen, bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people, and you get over it. Hold on.
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't patronize the pain of Palestinians.
I'm not patronizing. I'm being. Excuse me, Cora. I'm not patronizing the pain of Palestinians. I know people. You don't know me. You don't know where I've been. You don't know where I'm from. Just let me finish what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that when something bad happens to you, you move the fuck on with your life. Everybody on this stage, there's Russian...
the oldest argument that anybody from the Zionist end can produce is like, this was probably just 3,000 years ago.
Hold on, that's a TikTok bullshit thing.
Exactly 3,000 years ago are gone.
Listen to me, that is a TikTok. Everyone that's on this stage that grew up in a Jewish household, you could say a Jewish Zionist household, whatever, that went to your standard Western American Jewish institutions, we're not walking around saying this was promised to us 3,000 years ago, blah, blah, blah. That's some Arab anti-Zionist TikTok bullshit. We don't go around. Hold on. We don't go around. Listen to me. We don't go around saying. We don't go around saying that. I am really Jewish. Everyone here that knows me in this room on the stage has heard me speak for years about this stuff. Like, I know my shit. Okay. And we Jews in America that come from like Russian backgrounds, fucking South African backgrounds, Eastern European backgrounds. We've all had very bad shit done to us in our families, but you know what? We move on. We've all lost houses. Hold on. No.
Everybody does, John.
I will tell you why the Palestinians have not moved on.
But that is not taken from
And I will tell you that right now.
The Palestinians are still
Laura, stop interrupting John. He has land to explain. He'll land explain, you'll speak.
I'll let my plan in 1 minute. They have not moved on.
Speak longer. So, okay, so don't stay muted, please.
They have not moved on. No one up here remembers any of the color of their napkins, or the way that their dining room was set up back in Moldova, or back in Russia, or back in Poland. No, it's over. That time has passed. We've moved on. Okay? And you want to talk about the Palestinian narrative always being lower and always being buried? That's definitely not the case. The UN was basically set up after that to highlight the Palestinian narrative. There's been decades and decades and decades of terrorism, of intifadas, keeping up the Palestinian narrative as much as possible, all to October 7th, when the best way to make sure the Palestinian narrative is now highlighted amongst the world is to do a massive rape, torture, kidnapping fest, and now great, and now the Palestinian narrative is highlighted. Everyone knows it, and you expect us not to do anything about that? Okay, so if you want to talk about all of this. That they've been oppressed. Hold on, that they've been oppressed. In the end, we get ping pong back and forth about the country was this, is Israel.
Exactly.
Hold on. We could do that. We could go back. All right, the country was Israel first, then Palestine, then the Arabs and the Jews came, and blah blah blah. What it comes down to is that a bunch of 19, 20, and 21-year-olds, right, and 30-year-olds on drugs in Gaza decided to rape, torture, kidnap, and kill us. Right, and hold us hostage and kidnap us under tunnels and starve us for over a year, because their great-grandfather lost a house during a war that they started, and now they're upset today. How about you get the fuck over it, and we move on, and we make peace, so we could actually make some money, fall in love with each other, and have a real fucking society. How about that?
It's very easy to say that when you come from a place where you have actually looted, taken all the resources, and just basically planted your flag illegally, just because the people who were receiving you were nice to you, just because of that.
We did not plant our flag illegally. It was lawyers that created the country legally.
I did pay you the respect.
Well, you said we were created illegally. I was born there. I wasn't born there illegally, Cora. No, fuck you. I wasn't born there illegally. My parents went there legally, and they had me legally, and I'm an Israeli citizen legally to a real country that existed.
And then you have the right to kick out the people who have been
there
way
before you. That's not how it works over there at all.
Exactly, that's how it exactly works.
No, it doesn't.
So downplaying the pain of yes, and
I have propaganda. You have Arab propaganda.
Okay, Glo, where's your mediation now?
Go.
Where's your mediation now, Glo?
To be honest, you just literally denied his existence, his every right to defend himself.
Okay.
You just said
so
that he does not belong. He's not legal in his own country. Who are you? Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you, Glo?
Who the fuck are you to say that? You're an Indian. What are you? You're not even from the Middle East. You're not even from the Middle East.
You are not even from the Middle East.
You're not even invited to the fucking party.
Who are you?
Get the fuck off the property.
Oh, you shut the fuck up.
This is a gated community.
Shut the fuck. It's a gated community. Your gated community that you created on the basis of the blood of Palestinians, innocent Palestinians, Palestinian kids. You guys love to beat this drum about October 7th. You guys have been doing
Who's you guys? I'm Iranian. I'm Iranian. Fuck you.
Fuck you. You're an Iranian in diaspora who has this Western pygmy energy, all these
So, Cora, I'm just curious though.
I don't even know.
Okay, but Cora, let me ask you a question. Cora,
listen to me.
Cora, no, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like seriously, you're being obnoxious.
You shut the fuck up, okay? And before you disrespect
All right,
women, which by the way I do absolutely respect from you. Oh, shut the fuck up, you asshole. Right?
Wait, Cora, you're Pakistani or Indian? How was your country created? Curious.
Oh,
when was it created?
I'm not Pakistani. I'm not Indian. I'm not either. So there you go.
She just conveniently won't tell people where she's from. Somehow people are going to look for her.
Of course I won't, Pepe, because I absolutely do not give up my information for the likes of you people.
I'm not helping. I'm just saying.
Okay, if you say that you're Syrian or Pakistani, nobody's gonna fucking be able to figure out who you are. It's so retarded.
Every single day it has happened. Every single day it has happened in Palestine. Every single day on October 7th happened.
Every day on October 7th.
Every day.
Every single day. Right? Cement has been poured.
This is absolutely
Shut
bonkers.
the fuck up, Glo. Cement has been
Your
poured.
mom is just shut the fuck
She's
up.
projecting pick me energy, but it's her.
Cement? Oh my god, you guys are
Day
so
of October
bootlickers for
7
each
happened.
other.
You're
Such
crazy.
bootlickers for each other.
You are crazy.
God. Oh, really? I am crazy. I am
Insane.
crazy. You keep Palestinians in the world's biggest open-air prison. World's
Islam
biggest
is
open-air prison.
Islam is
wow.
Why are you
Okay,
using
I-
buzzwords?
bitch,
Like you don't have other
bitch,
words to use?
I am not calling you a Jewish propagandist.
Laura,
So
you know
should
they
not call
have
me an
like
Islamic
industry in
propagandist.
Palestine.
Don't
Oh, look who's back.
Don't do
Look who's
that.
back up, Cora's back.
Don't do that. I did not call you a
I'm
Jewish
nothing against
propagandist.
you. Why are you so hostile to me? Because you're disingenuous, and I can't
Shut up,
stand
Em.
you.
I did not call you guys
Don't tell
Jewish
me to shut up.
propagandist. You shut up. I did not call you guys.
No, you're not gonna tell people to shut up.
By the way, the Palestinians have the highest literacy rate in the Arab world. And they
Well,
have
I
the
love
most,
you, Em. I'm sorry that you don't feel it's not mutual. It's okay. I mean,
Buttercup, do you live in Israel?
my
send her
sister does. She
delusional
lives in the
land.
south, and I lived there during the Intifada, the second Intifada.
Do you live there now?
No, my sister does.
Do you live in Israel? But you don't live in Israel now.
No, I live in the States. What about you?
I live in this.
Okay, so twins.
Sure.
But I have family there, and I lived there for a full year, and I visit there a few times, you know?
Yeah, no. Standard Jewish.
I've been in the West Bank.
Have you been to the West Bank?
I have. I've been to Bethlehem.
It's nice, right?
It is. I mean, it's not some parts. I mean, obviously we saw the refugee camp, and then we also saw the nice suburbs, you know? We saw like the marketplace. It's very beautiful parts of it. But other parts are really sad.
Do you think that do Israelis do October 7th to the Palestinians every day? Because that's what that woman just said.
There is violence in the occupation, by definition. Wouldn't you agree? There is daily violence that Palestinians endure, even the ones that don't hate Israel have a perfectly.
But is there violence from both sides? That they provoke each other? Let's be fair. By shooting rockets into Israel.
So my
You're not
friends who grew up
provoking-
in. Okay, let me answer. Let me think about that. Is there violence from both sides on a day-to-day basis? My friends who grew up in the West Bank and had to deal with the checkpoints, they experience violence in a systemic way on a daily basis. Okay, the Israelis also experience violence intermittently, right? I'm not denying that. They have real security concerns. But the Palestinians, it's a systemic violence they experience every day.
Systemic
ongoing
violence.
school.
So we clearly saw they can govern themselves after October 7th.
We're talking about the West Bank, which is different than Gaza, Rafi. You have to be able to distinguish between Hamas and Fatah, right? One of them rejects violence as part of their.
What do you mean? We've been talking about Palestine up until now.
No, Rafi
Palestinians.
said October 7, which was done by by Hamas in Gaza, not by the Palestinians in the West Bank, and he's conflating the two.
No, I said.
Do you think the Palestinians need to do anything to like give up something, or like what agency do they have to make peace, or is it all on Israel to do everything possible?
So John, I don't know if you know me very well, but me and my friend Judy who grew up in the West Bank, we vehemently criticize Hamas. Hamas is responsible for provoking the most right-wing Israeli government in history into what I consider to be genocide, right? But Israel is also fully culpable for the way it chose to respond, right? And so, yes, the Palestinian Hamas must be accountable to its people. It acted unilaterally without a vote to go to war against a regime that was outpowered it and that was going to
destroy the civilization in Gaza, and that was a choice it made, and it must be accountable to its people. But my interest primarily is in holding our people and our government and our leadership and our institutions accountable for what they did and their choice to respond the way they did, which is a permanent black eye on our history, on our culture, on our heritage. And it's something that I feel more inclined. The Palestinians, they are holding their government accountable. They must hold the Hamas accountable, and that's on them. My responsibility is to my people.
So your thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, you want Israeli Jewish society and maybe the broader Jewish diaspora
to reckon with what they've done, yes.
So just opposed on
a real reckoning, yes.
Okay, what do you want us to do?
So I want to see I think for the sustainability of my sister who lives there and her sons who will go to the army, I want to see a future Israel that's not at war anymore, right? And I think to do that, you need to have, there's no government candidates right now, no, prime minister, in sort of the prime minister's race, there's no one who's actually presenting a plan to deal with the millions of Palestinians that are under Israeli rule that don't have rights of their own, right? And I think that is at the heart of the conflict, right? We need for people, they've just kind of given up, and it's become this indefinite occupation that was supposed to be temporary, and now it's become permanent, right? And so millions of people are living in sort of limbo, and I think even right-wingers, even Zionists agree that you can't have people be refugees forever, right? You can't just have people be in limbo. And their solution to the limbo is, just expel them, resettle them, have voluntary migration or whatever. And my solution would be to give them rights. And so the plan that I've been toying with, that actually Amrose introduced me to, and some other Israelis, this guy Rodi, he's like this Persian Israeli Zionist guy on this app. This plan is basically, it's between 1 and 2 states. Basically, it's like a confederacy where one side is governed by Israelis, the other side is governed by Palestinians, but the borders are open and fluid, so people can move both sides, and you can have residency rights. And there's some, there's very strong protections that prevent tyranny and oppression of minorities. And they have a joint partnership on things like security and resources. And so both parties have a shared interest in fighting terrorism, whether it comes from Jews or Palestinians.
Yeah, I've heard of this. This is going around now.
So I like that plan, but in the interim, John, I think we need to end the occupation, and because it's not sustainable and it's killing us, okay? And if status quo is killing us, it's led to the worst genocide, the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, and the next one will be worse.
So do you think that so if every town, settlement, neighborhood was removed from the West Bank, you think that would not be enough? That Israeli government Jews could do? Talk about Ariel, pretty much all of them.
No, that's not what I think. I don't think anyone would really have to move in this confederacy plan. I mean, ideally, I think we should be able to eventually work towards one binational state where everyone can share. Listen, there's 2 people already sharing this land between the river and the sea. It's just a configuration that's not fair to everybody, right? All we're doing is shifting the configuration where we're giving the millions of people that are being ruled over, we're giving them rights. And so no one would move. We would just have a government that has a shared interest in prosecuting terrorists, no matter which side they come from, right? Because they're all in the interest of they're all acting in the interest of the sustainability and security of their shared land. And that's what we have to work towards.
But I'm just curious, I get what you're saying, that would be optimal, but do you think it's possible, if you were to do that their side would,
instantly massacre the other side?
Well, no, not that they would suddenly not have this, they would change their worldview, do a 180 and not want to bring on the downfall of Israel.
Right, a new generation.
So I know many Palestinians, first of all, who don't want to bring down the downfall of Israel.
I'm sure there's a lot of
people. Even though they have every reason to hate them. And they live in the West Bank under the mood of occupation.
But how do you get, whoever comes into power, how do you
So here's how the math. This is the math I do when people tell me, oh, you know, because so many Palestinians are so hateful and they're already trained, they're socialized to kill, hate, etc. Let's start with like the 2 million Palestinians who live in Israel. They don't do terrorism, right? They're pretty well integrated. They run for Knesset. They're overrepresented in medicine and pharmacy, right? Like God wants them to point out. They're very well integrated in
Hold on.
Yeah, there's crime. They have crime like all poor communities.
Hold on, John.
Yes, but in all societies, poor marginalized communities have crime, yes.
I'll give it to hold on, John. I'll give it to Buttercup. Yeah, there are Arabs that are living amongst with the Israelis. Peacefully, some peacefully, yes, there is crime, this and that, but there's crime everywhere you go.
And it's against each other, not against Israelis.
It's against, doesn't matter. Crime is crime. However you commit it, because when an officer has to go in to prevent the crime, it could be an Israeli officer, could be an Arab as an officer. Somebody has to be put in danger to control the crime. Whatever, crime is crime at the end of the day, no matter what. How you see, there's still a ripple effect of crime. But the Arab that is living in Israel went to Israeli school where they didn't teach it. If you kill 2 Israelis out of 5, how many are left?
Okay, so let's get to that. I know what you're talking about.
How are you going to re-indoctrinate somebody?
Yes, that's what we're getting to that. So we started with 2 million, right? We have 8 million total, is that it, or 7 million? Roughly, there's like about equal population, like 8 point something million of each Jews and Arabs.
Okay, so and also, if they do join, do you believe Israel should become a monarchy state? So it's a Jewish state.
No, it's a confederacy. It's a democracy.
So you wouldn't want it to be. So you wouldn't want Jews to have their own state for just in case of an emergency. If anything happens, they don't deserve their own state. Just in case of another Holocaust happens.
So I don't
believe that it should become a monarchy at least. Okay, we bring them in, but a monarchy system.
I don't know what, more like a king? A monarchy
Yes, like a Jewish king. Yes, correct. Like a Jewish king, exactly.
Is that what you're advocating for?
Correct. Yeah, I believe there should be a monarchy system.
Interesting. Okay, I mean that's a different one I haven't heard before. Most people are like, it's kind of not going to one monarchist. But anyway,
we should have a king.
Okay, can I answer your many questions? Okay, so we have 8 million, right? 2 million, they're fine, right? They live in Israel, they're integrated. Sure, there's crime, but there's crime everywhere, and especially in poor areas, right? So fine, move on. So they're fine. They would be integrated into this new government. Next, we have the West Bank. The West Bank, you have people. It's overwhelmingly secular government. They've had a security arrangement already with Israel for 20 years and have successfully thwarted terror, right? Because they work with Israel and they hand over their security prisoners and literally have been working alongside Israel to thwart terror, right? So they already are a perfect candidate to build on the infrastructure, the robust infrastructure that Israel already has to create a collaborative security arrangement. And when they're both in, and when there's a law that is applied equally, it doesn't only target Palestinian terrorism, but also targets Jewish terrorism, then you actually have a society with like a shared interest in securing their shared population. And so I really think the Palestinians in the West Bank, which already work, many of them work in Israel and have very, very long-standing business and diplomatic and security coexistence, I think they would be a perfect candidate to be incorporated into Israeli society and participate in this new government that gives everyone equal rights. The only difference between them and their cousins in the West, their cousins in Jerusalem and Israel, is that they don't have health insurance and that they have checkpoints all over the place. And then Gaza is a bigger problem. I don't know what to do about Gaza because I can't imagine that these kids who are living in tents and have rats biting off their face and are living under medical siege and literally emaciated and their families are being killed. I really don't know how they come out of that not hating Israel, right? So it's really hard to deprogram people who literally been running barefoot in tents with missiles falling over their heads, right? And so that is like going to be a huge challenge to overcome.
Hold on, do you believe those kids liked Israel prior to October 7th?
Many of them did. I can show you videos of kids who said they waved to Israeli kids.
They were brought in specifically to Israel.
Can you add Yehuda?
But you can add Yehuda.
He's in the audience.
How can I add him?
Oh, well.
Bring him up, he means.
Buttercup,
Rob, bring him up.
in the Confederacy, did the Palestinians give up the right of return for
Oh, that's a great question. So the Confederacy, I'm not super familiar with, but in this binational states, basically the immigration law, just like the security law, would apply equally to Palestinians and Jews. So whatever the immigration plan is, there would be some kind of right of return, but it would be one that's reasonable and takes into account the new state's resources and is applied equally to both Jewish and Palestinian immigration. And whatever the standard is, like whether you have roots there or whether you had a home that you lost or whatever, there'd be certain criteria, but whatever would be even. You know what I mean?
What if that didn't happen?
If what didn't happen? This new state would have a constitution.
What if they got everything, but there wasn't really like a right of return?
A right of return?
And maybe there was something similar, but the crux.
So the right of return doesn't have to be literally ever coming back and taking their houses. The right of return could also be financial compensation for what they lost, right?
But with all due respect, I think this thing could have been solved by money. This one was solved 50 years ago. It's not financial compensation.
Hold on, Bill Clinton.
Then why wasn't it? Why haven't they offered financial compensation?
We'll give you $30 million to make this go away.
Hold on, Bill Clinton gave them 95% of what they were asking, which in negotiations, Buttercup, when somebody gets 95% in negotiations...
Yes, so missed opportunity. That's not disputed. Yes,
I don't think it's a missed opportunity. Many times.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it again. You shouldn't try again because there was missed opportunity.
It's by design, if I may jump in, the Palestinian side.
That was my question. Yeah, you didn't complain about the title change, Rafi. Do you know what they even means, Rafi? You can translate for you.
What does it say? How does it say in Hebrew?
Peter doesn't speak Hebrew?
I do, but you got it backwards. You're naked outside. I can't see it on my glasses, but what's the point?
It says Neged Ratzacham, that's the title.
Yeah, but I see it in different order than you do. I see it Neged Ratzacham Yehudim, so it's backwards for me.
Oh, maybe it's like a different line. Well, what does it mean? He doesn't know what his room is.
It's not my room. What are you talking about?
No, Rafi doesn't know. Rafi, I changed the title on him. He doesn't know what it means.
Alright, well, anyways, shenanigans. I'd like to address the topic here. It's like supremacist by design. I've listened to you quite calm, but I don't know who you are. But I don't like using arguments from authority. I worked in the peace process as a Western diplomat, and I can tell you that nothing is further from the truth. There's a reason why there's 30 years of reasons why the Palestinians didn't get a state, and you could blame 16 of those years on Netanyahu, but you can't blame the rest on Israel. It's just not. The reality doesn't.
We're not doing blame game here. We're trying to be solution.
You've made a lot of assertions, I think, that I wouldn't concede to you, which is apartheid, genocide, or the starving of people. Obviously, war is bad, but the reality is, before 67, how many checkpoints were there in the West Bank? It's a trick. After 67, how many were there? When did they start happening? I know a great number of Israeli Arabs who would reject being called Palestinians. Many do, some don't, and some accept Israeli Arab identity quite happily. But one thing you are forgetting, and you glossed over, is that you can't ignore, I think Rafi or John said it, you can't ignore 30, 40, 50 years of inculcation of hatred towards Jews. Now, if you don't know the region, and you said you've been to the West Bank, that's great, but if you don't know what they've been taught...
Do you know what they've taught? I read all the fucking...
You've read all of them, okay. Yeah, they're not talking points.
I've seen all the textbooks. By the way, a lot of those studies are outdated.
Yeah,
and in fact, the PA has agreed to reform its textbooks. You know that, right?
Well, the PA doesn't actually control the textbooks.
Yes, they do, actually. They control the textbooks in Gaza and the West Bank.
UNRWA publishes them. I guess you don't know that.
Yeah, but the PA is the one that sets it.
Okay, well, I'm letting you know that UNRWA publishes them. So the problem that the Palestinians and the Arabs in the West Bank and Gaza have had is that they've been abused, I would say, by their
PA sets the curriculum, and they've reformed it. You didn't know about this, Yehuda? They reformed the curriculum?
Listen, in 2016...
Let me send you a link about how to reform the curriculum.
In 2016...
But hold on, he is right. If it's 2016, that's only, what are we looking at? About...
it hasn't even been fixed. It hasn't even been fixed.
No, but a child that was 10 years old is now 20 years old. If he was taught that, he hasn't been reformed. He's already indoctrinated. What do you do with a 20-year-old today, Buttercup? What do you do with these 20-year-olds? I'm
not disputing this, that there's extremism.
So hold on. So the problem is, when was this reformed? Let's say this was reformed 4 years ago, for example, right? So
okay, it's a step in the right direction.
So hold up. Only 4 years ago, a new generation started. So is the 4 year? Are we just bringing?
You have to wait 15 years, apparently.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, so at least we started the process, though. Okay.
Okay, so the process has started. How long is it going to take for this process to?
I don't know. Celebrate them with baby steps. But I want to also point out that Israeli young generation has also been extremely radicalized, right?
Right, and guess who I blame?
And I want to point out, Yehuda.
I blame the Hamas. I blame the PA. If you want to talk about.
So it's Hamas's fault when your children are saying Mavet Larabin?
Yes, and also when you're waking up in the middle of the night and running into a shelter, you're gonna hate somebody for ruining your sleep.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Rafi. You know why?
Rafi, I'd like to just comment. The same individuals who what she just said. We're told Hamas exists because of Jews, and now we can say, hey, well, Ben Gvir supporters exist because of Hamas and the intransigence.
No, also, beyond that, Yehuda, like, who wouldn't? Their hatred is legitimate.
No, it's not. Their hatred is actually
because their only encounter with Jews is with the butt of the gun.
Sorry, there's hatred for their hatred for Jews is inculcated in the culture that Jews are weak.
Are there encounters with Israelis violent or civil?
Well, finally the Israelis were able to stand up and defend themselves. So
no,
yeah,
but
they
the
got
children
violent.
that grow up there, do they encounter Israelis in a civil way or a violent way?
You want to start? When do you want to pick a day? You pick
I'm
the
saying
day you
their
want to start
hatred is
history.
justified. It's not because they don't need to be indoctrinated.
Their hatred is not justified. Their hatred is based on anti-Semitism.
Do you know anyone in the West Bank that is like a peaceful person?
In the West Bank?
And ask about their interactions?
I know more Palestinians than you. I've worked with more of them than you, and I know.
How do you know? How do you don't even know me?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Just by listening to you, I can see the depth of knowledge you have in it.
All right, never mind. Well, if you're just going to assume things about me, we're not going to have a good faith conversation.
Well, I don't think you're having. I think you're having a passive aggressive conversation where you're assuming things and you're actually. I think you're glossing over topics that you think that Israelis or Jews that support Israel are conceding to, and we don't. The hatred.
Yehuda, I'm with you. Listen, I grew up just like you with the same fucking narrative.
I know you didn't. I don't know if you're a Mizrahi or Sephardi. I have cousins from Lebanon who I grew up every Pesach listening to the stories of how they were treated in Lebanon, and we're talking about in the 20s and 30s and 40s. That's how old. I'm older than you, and that's how old my great uncle was.
How do you know? How old do you think I am?
I don't know. Why don't you just let me finish and stop deflecting?
You're making a lot of assumptions about me. I'm fucking old as shit.
Yeah, sure.
She's in her late 30s, early 40s, and she talks about
I'm 20 years old.
We're doing what we do not do. Everybody just mute up, let Leota land display.
Yeah, so for Jews of the Middle East and North Africa, our experience, we do know, we're not like the Ashkenazi experience who are new to it perhaps 100 years, 80 years. We come from a generational trauma. We come from a generational trauma where we know what it's like to be second-class citizens in the Middle East.
Why am I the only one who knows Hebrew in this room?
I guess when you find facts, you talking about other stuff. I mean, the audience can tell for themselves.
I mean, I don't need to know your whole life story, Yehuda. I know you from Twitter. I know who you are.
You're very disrespectful, I have to say.
Well, calm down, okay? It's not
talking to Buttercup, by the way.
Buttercup, what the hell? He's telling you about his life. He is a literal Mizrahi Jew. He's from the Middle East. What are you?
I have Mizrahi origins. How do you know?
Wonderful. Well, I'm
let
glad.
me speak then.
Let me finish, please. So
Let's have Jews talk, Lo. Get used to it. We're not as polite as Persian.
No, I will not get used to it.
No, but
that's how we interact. We have overlapping conversation. I don't care.
We have rules. Buttercup, we have rules. Come on. Let him land. Stop interrupting him. It just makes it longer. It's again, we're
It throws me off. Thank you. So the bottom line is the Jews of the Middle East are quite aware of how we were viewed. And when Jews purchased all the land they lived on from the late 1880s and the first Aliyah and second, every single square centimeter, every dunam of land was purchased by Jews that they lived on. And then the Arab nations, after the partition that they rejected, tried to kill all the Jews in Israel, and they lost. Now, Israel did grow in territory, which is legal under international law and some war. If you want to say that because of that fact, post fact, that every Arab in the West Bank has justified in his hatred? No, they're justified until they become an adult, and then they can learn their own history and realize, in fact, their grandfathers, as the other gentleman said, started a war. Their grandfathers tried to eradicate Jews, and they lost. It's the same reason why in 1967, when Egypt and Syria lost so poorly to Israel, that Nasser and Hussein got on the phone, which was recorded, and said, we have to say that the Americans and the British did it, because God forbid the Ummah think that those cowardly, weak Jews could actually fight. This is a history that you're not even sharing, and I think it's intellectually dishonest, or you just don't know it exists. Thanks.
All right, let's get to ad hominems, okay? We're having a debate.
You're interrupting. Go ad hominems. I can't read Hebrew. Like,
you made a lot of assumptions about me. Let's start over.
Do listen to yourself, okay?
Let's start over.
You stop with the ad hominems.
How about listen, Yehuda, I've never interacted with you before, but I know who you are from X. And so I want to just introduce myself and like ease the tension a little bit, okay? Tell me about yourself. How do you want to introduce yourself? And I'll tell you who I am, and then we can try to start over without.
I'm fine. I'm fine just discussing the topics.
I think we're making a lot of assumptions about each other, and it's hard to have a good conversation.
I'm only referring to your speech. What I heard you say with my own ears.
You made assumptions about my age, about my competence, about my background.
I'm 20 years older than you. I don't think you either know the history or you're kind of propagandizing. But that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. I'm not running a thesis on you.
Let's pull a thread and see what we believe.
Can you guys just new to the stage? Who's speaking to who?
Buttercup and Yehuda are speaking.
Oh, Buttercup is you? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, Yehuda, bitch, you're a liar.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't know what this person is.
I don't know.
No, sorry, no. I was just saying that when he brought up the North Africans as Jews, are you crazy?
This
is just a crazy. This is just like a being. I just kicked this person off stage.
Oh my god.
I know, but I know you guys love claiming that you're the original Native Americans and the original Jews. That's fine. Bradley, just kick her off the stage.
I did.
Anyways, let's get to justified hatred.
Anyway, Yehuda, I'm not like this fucking lefty radical as a Jew that stereotype that you're trying to make me out to be, okay? I grew up like you with the same narrative and the same history.
You accuse me of judging you, and you're telling me you grew up like me. You don't know.
You sound like an American Jew. That's what you sound like.
Okay. Well, I'm not an American Jew. Thanks.
No? Where are you from? So let's do this. Let's talk about ourselves. Where are you from, Yehuda?
Yeah, I'm good. We can.
I'm from the Northeast. Where are you from?
I'm not from America. How's that?
Okay. Do you want to be friend? Do you want to Okay, never mind. I tried.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's just talk about the topic. I'm fine with that.
What do you say?
I live where Rafi lives, apparently. How's that?
Oh, you're Canadian. Gotcha.
The better part of North America, correct?
Gotcha. All right. Nice. The polite side of America.
So yeah, I think I'd like to talk about your position when you said that you think there should be Confederacy. What buy-in?
I actually don't know that much about the Confederacy plan. I hope it eventually turns into a one binational state with equal rights.
Well, there are equal rights for Arabs in Israel, but I don't have rights.
But they rule over millions of Palestinians indefinitely, right? And that's a problem.
By choice?
You agree?
By choice?
The people choose to be ruled over indefinitely?
No. Does Israel control the West Bank by choice, or was it forced into it?
The fact is that there's no one in leadership. By choice, they agreed to, with the circumstances, the area A, B, and C.
No. In 67,
they signed agreements.
What happened in Khartoum in 68? What happened in 1968?
You mean the thing with Lebanon or whatever? I mean, with Jordan?
No. So Israel, once it took the West Bank and Gaza, immediately said, "We'll give it all back for a peace treaty." The Arab League.
I don't want to do like a history.
I know you don't like history because it doesn't help you.
No, I read fucking all the historians.
Wonderful.
I did. She is just the biggest Benny Morrison repeater. It's so pathetic. It makes me want to get a Benny Morrison book so I can actually comprehend what has brain virused her out. But
I can't believe it. I haven't been on in years, and I came in there and she's vile. It's hard for me to, as a cantor, to put up with her ridiculousness, and they're all in there.
Well, there is a, do you know how I know Hashem is real, Rabbanu Shalom?
What? Why? How do you know Hashem is real?
Because Buttercup, aka Rachel, or whatever the hell her name is, she's been banned.
Does she call herself Rachel now? She says Buttercup. I just saw her say.
No, is her legal name Rachel? Or something like that? Rachel? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Anyways, she's been banned from Israel. She's on the database of Do Not Enter.
How do you know that?
She said it. She said she got doxxed by the Canary mission.
I never heard of that, and I'm pretty involved with what goes on in Israel.
Yeah, she claims that she has been banned, but if you can say it, it is not true. And it doesn't really matter whether she's been banned or not. She loves to say, I'm in the media. I'm in the media. I work in the media. I work in the media.
I never heard her even say that. I didn't know, but
She
it's
claims that's what her position is. They monitor her. Rafi, Daniel, Glow, because, honestly, she doesn't shut up, so, like, you can give her an hour segment. I think that's the way they do it.
Daniel, who comes from Israel, who's been in the...
No, some other Daniel. Daniel, I love Israel. Maybe it's him. I don't know.
Okay, does he speak with an accent?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard him speak in the room yet. Yehuda is speaking. But, I just like, part of me is like, I like recording all this stuff, but honestly, it's so pathetic because this is an unrecorded room. None of these people create content personally, as far as we know. And, if they're not recording it, they really are, I'm sorry, but retarded. Because to sit here and waste all your attention and focus creating unrecorded content when you do have political ambition or goals is retarded. So it's possible, you may be emotionally upset at what these people say and how they say it and who they are, but just remember, if they're retarded and you're upset about what they're saying, the joke's on you. Because she is an effective communicator, but honestly, any woman with a distressed voice, no matter what the message, is always effective communication, because it's just like raising sails with wind, it's just the weather. It's a woman can be a fully automated hurricane, tornado, or thunderstorm.
She's been doing this for so long. I haven't been in that room in a really long time. Not just months, probably a year. And as soon as she just came right after me, and I'm like, so what is Jewish about you? I don't get it.
Well, I think you have to view it from like a political perspective, that she has political goals, ambitions, desires, yearnings, or dreams, or aspiration. And that's really the real reason, because I have boiled down women like this over hours of conversation, and the extract or the condensed congeal is political.
She's more insane than she is political.
Well, actually, you know who is the most... I got a lot of YouTube videos taken down because of that Emrose. Now, that chick is actually like a militant, and YouTube recognizes her as being very dangerous, but not Buttercup. But Emrose is considered a dangerous person.
Yeah, I know the name. I've seen it up there, but I've never interacted or been in a room.
She's an extremist. She says homicidal ideation all the time against Israelis, the Jewish state, the state of Israel. Like, the girl is like certified mentally deranged.
Hell, yeah, I know.
And it's not me. It's the YouTube community guidelines being enforced by fully automated algorithms, and probably people in the Philippines who have to review the video. But her videos were taken down because she was saying such insanely deranged things. If they can arrest her in Israel, they really should.
Natalie, were you in that room?
The one right
The
now?
one I was in? No, Nahal. Nahal, down below.
No.
No, you weren't. Okay.
But Buttercup
Oh my God, it was
claims,
just,
yeah.
wow, she went right after me. I haven't been on a very long time. And she had a full room, and she just like came right after me, and I just left. I was like, go to it, girlfriend.
She can go for a long time. She never stops. She's like a She's like a
But
wind-up
there was
doll.
a big room just now that she's still in. There was a big room, and she's like, you want to know about Grace? And I'm like, oh my God, you're talking to a clergy person. I've never.
Well, see, this is where you could. This is where you could go if you could get on stage, because she says she has a big block list. If you could get on stage, I mean, what would your strategy be to communicate with a highly aggressive person?
I left. I immediately left.
Well,
I'm not going to interact. I'm not going to. There are people who are very opinionated. People, we've had disagreements. Listen, I was on Clubhouse for years, and there was this "let's take a step back" moment. That I used to get when I was moderating. Let's work at let's go piece by piece of what are the concerns. I'm really good as a cantor to, listen, it's not the first time people get mad at their clergy or other people in a congregation, so I've been doing this for a long time. But she just came in and just wanted to rip me to shreds. I haven't talked to her in years. And she just, let me tell you about, I'm like, you know nothing about
It's interesting, watching you.
On fucking Clubhouse, I'm perfectly legitimate member of the Jewish community in real life.
No, I'm not. Your standing in the Jewish community is not my concern, but it is. No, I'm just saying it's interesting because it's listening to two characters I've never heard talk to each other before.
Who is this Nahali? Why is he on my
Dude, I have nothing against you. You seem like an interesting dude. I've seen you online on X, and you're very good at holding a room, and I'm glad we got to meet finally.
Nice to meet you as well, Buttercup.
I was about to tell you the concept of Talmud, okay?
So I'm like banned from any room that Rafi's in. He bans my accounts, but really the thing is, Grace, it's so pointless even communicating with her. That's why I record everything, because I just go the extra step. I do the real work, and I record them. And so that's why I say, if you were to record your experience speaking with a highly aggressive Buttercup, and you maintained your composure and had a rational, respectful conversation, what you're really doing is just exposing her. But you're using yourself as the artistic palette or medium for her to project her internal friction onto you. And in that process, if they watch that, it's possible you could transform their perspective and they would say, fuck, I'm a bitch.
Yeah, no, I think they're using it. I think they're using it for entertainment. That's what they do in that room now.
Yeah, there are so many lonely men on the internet that just talking to a highly obnoxious, extremely annoying person like Buttercup is truly the most exciting thing they could possibly do in their immediate vicinity, maybe for 30 miles.
Unbelievable that I've been off for a really long time.
Everybody says they've been off it for a long
that she
time.
has any kind of audience. I think people are using her for entertainment.
I agree. It's almost like if you want to record content, you need a cast. And so you're willing to sacrifice some time just for the sake of having a very diverse cast, for the sake of, getting as much information in, even if it's from what you would call the opposition or the anti-position. Regardless, why they allow Buttercup to do what she does is amazing.
And to bring her on stage, what are we talking about?
Well, there's a lot. I don't know. There's a lot of. I don't know. People like to play this game the way they like to play it. There's really just a lot of anti-Semites out there um, that project their internal friction, their angst, their anxiety, their misery, their depression, their rage onto Jews. And if you go to Israel and you jog from Tel Aviv to what's that city town, the Crusader place with the restaurant? Anyways, it's just so diverse, you know. Um, they make the point that crime happens everywhere, but that I just don't accept, and I reject that too. Every major city on the planet shouldn't have a crime problem. I know they have it because of law of large numbers, but is that what it's like in other countries? I don't think so. It's just not, you know?
True. You're true.
It's just not. The crime is not in other major cities. Like, fucking Afghanistan has a lower per capita murder rate than just about the top 10 cities in the U.S. So it's like, we allow crime to happen. We allow it. It's like part of the legal industrial complex. And the more progressive and liberal the judges, the more the crime numbers increase because there are people who are battering innocent people in the street to death that have been arrested 75 times, lighting people on fire on the trains, stabbing them to death, shooting them to death. Like, I followed the news like a news addict for years. There are so many murders that happen on the train. A young military veteran murdered on the train, got no recognition whatsoever. Of I don't know if he was a veteran. I assume he was a veteran, not like active duty, but either way, he was, you know, a young man, and it's just there should be like there should be like a collective unconscious response that says no more crime, like no more murder in on public transportation facilities, like at a minimum, right? The trains shouldn't be homeless facilities, am I right? Hey, Jane! Jane, great news. Buttercup has been barred from entering Israel. She's on a docs list known as the Canary Coal Mine Mission. And we feel great about it because now she can't go to Tel Aviv and she can't enjoy the beach in the summer and get stung by a medusa.
Hello. Hey, Grace.
Jane, welcome to the show, Jane. We're forming a female minion. You know what they call a female minion in Hebrew?
What? Oh, God. What?
Ribono Shalom. I don't know. There's got to be a word, right? Like a minyana?
No. It's a neutral word, mignon. Yana. When you're going to Mexico.
I was dating this very Orthodox girl in Los Angeles, and then she went to Israel, and she went to a seminary, and she got an arranged marriage, and she came back, and I saw her, and she's like, I'm getting married. I was like, oh, wow. Congratulations. That's amazing. So we're listening in to Buttercup. You know, I think that this app...
I was in there.
If this
You were there, Jane? Did you see when she started with me?
I did not. Okay, I knew there was a high energy. Speaking to Yehuda.
Jane, text Scott. See if we can get Scott to come into the Church of Buttercup. She was attacked.
I haven't been in there in a long time. She just came right at me. I don't even know what she said. What did I say she said else? I tried to forget it. I don't know. She's a psycho.
And about the way Palestinians don't have rights under the PA, then your argument is with the PA, not the city.
You're getting sidetracked.
No, I don't know.
I'm trying to make a point here. I'm trying to find a point of
No, Arabs in the West Bank are not accorded the rights of Israeli citizens because they're not Israel. Don't call me honey. The Israelis, they're not Israelis. The Arabs in the West Bank aren't Israelis. So why would they have Israeli rights?
Say that about anyone
Yehuda, let's focus on the topic, okay? The topic is...
Address any point I've made.
Yes, the point is we all agree that there's millions of Palestinians that are in limbo, and we
Hold on, guys. Who is blocking Shuki? Shuki cannot get into the room. I want him unblocked now.
That doesn't make her okay.
Buttercup, you
I have nobody.
Buttercup.
why do you guys mod her? I mean, that's crazy.
I don't ask Rafi. I can't answer this
No, I
question.
just wanted to be fair.
How is that fair?
Scott in the house!
Rafi, this is dictatorship.
No, it's fine. He
Block
mods up
everyone.
a lot of people. It's fine. He just started making rooms. Like,
Yeah, but then
Late night Scott session. Welcome,
Can't believe it.
welcome,
Scott.
Reverend Scott Kent Jones of the Lutheran LGBTQ Church. Dr. Scott, welcome to the Church of the Buttercup.
Were you in there, Scott?
I'm here.
No, were you in with
but I,
Buttercup?
and
She's
I
up in
look,
your room.
Shuki is
Who's
like
Buttercup?
if you had
You don't know.
if you had double
He's in there.
that was a Jew, it would be Shuki.
I don't know
why don't you
about
just unblock?
Okay.
Scott, can you text El Normo? Can you text El Normo to come to the Buttercup Church of
I know,
Buttercup?
Norma was in the room.
I wouldn't bother.
I wouldn't bother.
Been having problems.
With El Norma?
The guy's accurate, Jane. The guy is
Stop
so
it.
good.
I don't want to talk about him.
Well,
We're not mentioning him
I
any
don't want to
longer.
talk about him behind his back, sir.
no, we're not talking about him behind his back because he's being invited to the room.
Fantastic.
He's
That's a
received.
warning.
He's
Right.
received a screenshot.
I know El Norma. I'm upset
No,
that...
I mean my behavior.
Oh, no behavior. That would be me. That's me.
Test.
Scott, are you there?
I'm here.
Scott's been having rooms and I've been having some conflicts there. That's all, Grace. Nothing bad.
Oh, what are you doing to my friend Jane?
It's very. I think people are very adversarial in my room sometimes. Not other times not, but it gets very testy sometimes because it's a ideological and personality spread when I open a room. So people are not always. And people, I think sometimes people have a tough time disagreeing
This
without.
is Chicago mayoral candidate John Kitover running on the February 23rd, 2027 Chicago mayoral election. I need your like, your comment, and your share.
Yeah,
We're
that is
here.
our nature.
In the Buttercup Canary Mission. We're talking with Jews in Israel, in America, who are concerned about security.
I call them.
A lot of conversations about
I call them the
anti-Zionism and genocide. Important topics, but that doesn't address Chicago's $100 billion debt and Illinois' $200 billion debt, does it? Or the $100 million in Chicago Police Department pension payments monthly.
You're not keeping anyone out.
No, because isn't it happen if you're a moderator, which John, so.
Their intransigence after the 6 Day War is
Then
what
if
led
I
to
have
this
a
problem.
block list.
Those people had Jordanian and Egyptian passports. If they
All right,
want to
I
live
have
in the
some-
state of
I have a
Palestine,
block
let them
list,
do
too.
it. It's not
Yours
Israel's
is fine.
responsibility. And I would say
Jane, I really like you.
maybe that's just
Thank you for clarifying.
Oh, thank you. Favorite word. I have your name
I
tattooed.
think anyone listening thought I said at any point expel the.
Okay, I'm just a moron. Yeah, I'm just a
Name is
moron. I'm
Facebook.
slow. You got it.
Well, he was not saying that.
They used to call us the charity
You're
sisters.
saying you would look the other way if that's the direction you're
Okay,
going.
Shuki, I know you're going the opposite direction, but she was
Grace
obviously
and Faith,
saying
I don't think so.
I don't either.
that she's not, or he was saying
My
that he's
mother did
not
well.
for expelling the Arabs and.
Yeah, it's shocking the cognitive.
He wasn't being
Yeah, enough
ridiculous.
of
You
us
could
are
already
idiots.
say,
I wasn't. No, I
it's not for
said
me to
after
decide.
the
Whatever they decide is fine.
seventh
Scott, we
group,
thought we
you're the
lost
ones who
you.
said that they want to do that. I don't agree with that. I don't.
I mean, that's what the polls overwhelmingly
No, I
say.
would never
That's
see
not what
Scott
I believe, and that's not.
in an audience in any clubhouse room.
No, absolutely not.
That's good, and he doesn't believe in that.
Is that true, Scott? Stage or nothing.
That's true, Scott. Isn't it true? Stage or nothing? Yes.
It is totally true. Stage or nothing.
Okay, good.
Stage or nothing.
And I don't know, Ain, and maybe you guys know, and if I'm not pronouncing your name right, please correct me. And who knows, is it Ain?
Show yourself, I'm Ain.
Oh, I don't know what it is. I don't remember anymore.
Hello?
Hello? Do either of you ladies happen to have a cat or have had cats in your life?
I do.
Yeah, I've had cats. I have a dog now.
Scott, are you on club deck right now?
Yes.
Well, Scott, if you could put in a good word with Gary Bumgarden, I'd love to try to get an appearance on the show sometime. He says the young kids keep encouraging him to create videos, but he says, "No, goddammit, I write!" But he says the young kids keep telling him to get on those videos, like YouTube.
Gee, this is too funny.
But if you could put a good word in for me, Scott, if you could maybe tell him not to mod Marshall Rankin so Marshall doesn't kick candidate John Kitover out of the stage so quickly. And, I didn't know it's called the Marshall Stankin Rankin Show, but I've alerted Speaker Johnson to his ballot harvesting scam, and I think Marshall is on edge. He keeps saying, "You're obsessed with me, bro. You keep filming me, bro." I'm his biggest biggest publicist.
You might be talking to the air. Where are you, Scott?
Scott's laughing. He's like, "That was a good one." He's like, "He's not a cheetah. He's a snake."
Well, I did listen to this. I was tipped off by Scott that this is good, funny clubhouse. So you do have a series, quite a catalog of Marshall Rankin content.
Yeah, I'm in a room right now. We're listening to M. Kapara
Whereas before I was unsure, I'm pretty
talk to
confident
Yehud and
that
Shuki.
you're not acting in good faith whatsoever. Your comments are just
He's a neo-Nazi. How is it going to be?
Well, the comments you've made in response to what I've said, you've just dismissed everything.
I'm trying to
as
understand
history.
you, Yehuda. I don't know you.
You don't need to understand me to understand my points. The points are very clear. I think
I believe you. I take your assertions in good faith. You said you don't agree with it. I believe you. I'm just trying to clarify.
And this isn't about ethnic cleansing. No, you're making it about it because you can't deal with the facts I've brought for you. But apparently you didn't know. You didn't know Israel was
Yehuda, come on. We're having a conversation. You're getting very worked up.
We're having conversation.
Stop being so pressed.
Listen to the words I'm saying. I know in whatever ivory tower it seems you're in the States. I thought you were in Israel, so I gave you more benefit of the doubt. I gave you more leeway. But if you really think that you can just ignore the fact that the reason why the Middle East looks the way it does is because the Arab nations wanted to murder all the Jews because they do not like us and they lost.
No one said that. Now you're putting words in my mouth.
No, I'm telling you. If you think that, then that's...
Well, no one said that. We're just pulling allegations out of the air.
You have blamed Israel for everything. You've said
No,
Israel...
you don't even know me.
I just listened to you for an hour. Before I came in, I heard you.
I criticize Hamas as well. I criticize each government is responsible for their actions.
What a high bar. Hold on. What a high bar. I criticize people.
I criticize the PA. All governments are responsible and accountable for their actions.
You're like a humanitarian. You criticize Hamas. You want to cook
Yehuda, to me, criticizing the government is patriotism.
Wonderful.
Criticizing the government is Zionism. If you want a strong democracy,
the fact that you said you
Yehuda, if
criticize
you want a
Hamas,
strong and sustainable Israel, you criticize the
You
government.
understand? You should not be proud of saying, "Oh, I don't like Hamas either." Good for you. I don't like genocide.
Yehuda, criticizing your government is patriotism. It
Wonderful.
makes
And
it
you
a
know what's
strong,
really, and Canada has
sustainable
maple syrup.
democracy.
And Canada makes great maple syrup. It's not the point. You keep changing the subject. I don't know who this person. Are you a college student? Because you seem like a JVP person to me. That's how I feel. I don't know.
Oh my God, this is really ad hominems left and
Ad
right.
hominems? Okay, you're just crying victim the whole time. It's really weird.
I'm not playing the victim. I'm simply explaining my perspective.
Welcome to the show, Contamella.
Wait, am I being the asshole here? You're just calling me names.
You guys have very different beliefs, but you did come off as very harshly. You were confronting him regarding like what the title was. Yeah, trying to claim that he did not speak Hebrew. Obviously, I think at this point,
I'm sorry if that's what offended you, Yehuda.
Yehuda's a Jew. He's obviously a Jewish guy, but he is somebody who's, I would say, he can correct me if I'm wrong. I would say left of center. He's not far left. He's definitely not on the right, and so
But he's
I
attacking
don't know.
me.
You guys are having your differences, and look, I'm mainly just listening because this is just it's an eternal feud at this point. I don't really want to. I don't really think there's any much.
Never mind. Thanks anyway.
Benefit for us, for somebody like me to really weigh in.
You're not a very good mediator.
Neither are you.
I know. I'm sorry.
I thought you'd be a better mediator, Pepe.
I'm not gonna.
For a person that keeps talking about ad hominems and childishness, you're besting us all here, eh? Like you're complaining that you're being attacked, but you're like mocking everyone. You mocked me because the Hebrew was inverted on my screen, and then I hear any katzat karib falafel shali mifta from you, and it's Nazi maslicha.
אני לא נאצית, let's to say it.
Yeah, Nazi.
You're a capo. It's even worse. It's worse. You're a capo because
Yeah, guys, come on. This is a lynch mob, and it's also insulting to my grandparents who survived the Holocaust to throw the word capo around.
Your grandparents are fucking rolling in the grave. Shuki, hold on. They're fucking rolling in their grave. Thank God they're dead because they would literally die just to have a granddaughter like you.
Brutal.
They would die to have a granddaughter like you. Honest.
That is so fucked up.
I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit.
Literally daily.
Day number 1, we're going to cut property taxes 25% in the city of Chicago for all homeowners at a minimum. And we might retroactively refund all of 2025. Day number 2, we're going to rip out all the concrete bike lanes that are obstructing traffic, have ruined parking, and they're obstructing fire trucks.
Do you care about?
Sorry, but the bike lane's gotta go.
You care enough to know about the basic history.
We're also going to sue the city of Abu Dhabi and the Investment Authority for taking the parking meters over in Chicago, and we're going to sue Rahm Emanuel. Sorry, Ram. You're getting
I'm here
sued.
to talk to my people. I think we need to reckon with our past.
She doesn't have any people.
I'm not hurting anybody. I love my Jews. I think, Yehuda, let me answer his question directly. I think we're in a battle for the soul of the Jewish identity, the American diaspora Jewish identity, okay?
Try reading the book, Buttercup! Try reading the book!
Your mind or Pepe's mind, or M's mind.
Where does she think the information comes from?
Engage and have a conversation within our community, because I think there's we're extremely polarized, and I think there's a battle for our soul and what we stand for. I think
There's a battle for the collective soul of every Jew on the planet, according to Dr. Buttercup in the Church of
Israel
Buttercup.
said, "Oh, we'll never let it happen again by taking up arms and being macho and fighting back."
Would you like a popcorn, sir? Sure, I'll take an extra large. Would you like to put a cup of butter on it?
Have to defend themselves. You're right.
Hello?
No one said that. I don't know why you're saying
because they had in
that's called a straw man argument.
They chose to take up arms. That's exactly what you said.
But I'm just curious, like Buttercup.
I'm talking about an ethos. Do you know what ethos means? Do you need to look it up in the dictionary?
Yeah, but I know what it is.
Sorry, I refuse to listen to Pepe talk.
There's a lot of
Pepe is a moron, he is retarded! Pepe is retarded!
You saw people that in solidarity with
listen to opera than some chick scream all day long. Taking you back to the war room with Pepe.
Girl's body and the people are cheering, they're spitting on desecrating.
Yes, we all think they were barbarians.
But hold on.
Don't gloss over it.
No, hold on.
Listen, we agree they're a death cult. These are the things we did.
Yes. Hold on, we can agree, sure. So, what was to be the
I hate to inform the Church of Buttercup, but I have bad news. I have burned the roof of my mouth on DiGiorno. How did you burn your mouth, John? It was DiGiorno.
They obviously we're investing a lot of money in fighting the Israeli state and basically going to war with them. There's no question about that. These are not people with good intent. They go in, they have a fucking response, and one of the things that has been ironic, and a lot of Westerners have been fooled by this shit, where they just like, oh look, the Israelis, look how horrible they are, look at the dead children. I have a lot of gripes with Israel as well. I won't get into it here. But at the end of the day, what do you expect them to fucking do?
Yeah, okay, a lot of protesters are ignorant, right? They just discovered Palestine on the map yesterday, okay? I agree with you,
What do you
Pepe.
expect Israel to do is what he asked. That's the question.
If that's your bottom line, what do you expect Israel to do in response?
They have to do something after that.
I'll tell you, great question. Pepe, I agree with you. Hamas must be accountable for provoking the most right-wing genocidal regime ever into what they've done, okay? But what the answer is there are more than two choices, doing nothing and genocide. There are many choices in between doing nothing and genocide, Pepe, right?
I have a couple of
I don't know that it's necessarily genocide.
Okay, whatever. There's many. You don't have to call up.
Jason, you just came onto the stage. Just give us like a second, because I also had a question.
No, because all you guys are doing is rapid fire. You're not answering. You're just trying to interrupt each other. That's what you're doing. You're not listening.
Well, thank you for interrupting us.
So now when someone else does,
I've been listening for the last like 20 minutes. It's legit. That's literally all y'all have been doing.
Can you just...
Marshall Rankin makes an appearance in a cheetah jacket.
Okay, but was
The
it
Marshall
was it
Rankin
Hamas
Show.
Or the people that were spitting on that girl that Pepe was talking about?
I think it was both. I think it was both. That's the fucked up part about the whole goddamn...
Yeah, some civilians participate in the attacks.
But I'm waiting for your butt to come next.
I didn't say but.
Okay, great.
Well, in Europe, in the 1930s, is what the Nazis did. It was enough Gentiles that tried to help out for Jews and to save them. There is not even a single one of the Gaza people that came forward to try to save any of the hostage. Therefore, they're all equal to Hamas.
Yeah, and I'll even take it a step further. God forbid someone say...
Oh, wait, you're signing off on that they're all Hamas, Yehuda?
Hold on, well, why don't you just get a notepad and a
signed
pen
off on
and write down...
everyone Gaza's Hamas.
You're not good at this debate.
Who's Hamas? Why don't you...
Hold on. Let Yehuda finish. He got cut off.
I've been waiting to ask
Let me tell you something. Yeah, good. German Jews or Jews of Europe after the fall of the Nazi regime and I know people like to call Israel a Nazi regime, which is a disgusting slur, but do you think that Jewish partisans after the war would take Germans and murder them and have their children spit on them? There's something wrong in Gaza. 20 years of Hamas rule has inculcated a culture of hate, and that's problematic. And for someone to say, hey, time to make a state, yay, and Israel should be happy, you'd have to be palpably nuts. I mean, 20, 30 years of governance, good governance, no child abuse, right? Teaching a child, I have 2 Molotov cocktails and there are 5 Jews. How many more cocktails?
Honey, let's go to PalestinianBabysitter.com and get one of the new Palestinians to babysit for the family.
You're not a serious person.
Oh, baby, maybe we should think about that
go
one.
after all the kids in Gaza and blame them, but you can't also expect the Israelis to turn around and
Honey,
say,
I gotta call the Palestinian plumber.
Have a peace with them. That's just
He's
not
got a
true.
higher Google rating than the Irish plumber. Alright, you can call him.
I've been waiting a while. You know what, Chicky? You can take a dick and stuff it in your mouth because all you do is talk shit to me.
You fucking piece of
That's right, I'm a piece of shit that loves to come at you. You fucking...
We're not going to do this. Okay, Shuki has been on stage for longer than you, Jason. Let's give him the opportunity.
I would...
His opinion. And can go because he was your friend.
You got that shit. People try to take turns.
Stop it.
You just... You like to hear your...
Stop interrupting.
You don't know... Don't know...
Please stop.
You love to run a... You don't get peace because you believe in bullshit. I'll call it out for what it is.
Like what's happening? Every child that's going to school, and getting that material as a study is a future terrorist. Therefore, he has no right to live. You kill them before they become to be stage 4 cancer. You don't wait for them to get to that 4th stage. You kill them when they are small. It's that simple.
Alright, everybody go to ChicagoMayorVote.com. Like, share, subscribe, and comment.
Of course not. Of course not. You never want to see the notion for peace, but only on return.
I do think that like Shuki is partially correct. I do think that
what to kill innocent babies.
No. Hold on. Okay, so when it comes to how a person becomes who he is today, it's a mixture of nature and nurture. I do think that if you're indoctrinated, look, I was raised Catholic, and I'm not a very religious person now, but I will tell you that like really to this day still kind of has an effect on me. But when it comes to just in general, people, how you're raised absolutely is going to have a profound impact. I think obviously your genes are going to have a lot of say in that as well. And when it comes to the Palestinians, I don't. It's super dark to say, and I'm 100% against killing innocent civilians and children. But do I think that like when they're indoctrinated at a young age, I have to at least there's some credence to that. Like, yes, that those formative years in their lives where they're taught to hate another group of people and to be willing to martyr themselves and murder a specific group of people. They're like, yeah,
So there's really
it obviously has an effect.
So here's what I'm thinking. What's happening, more or less, since October 7th happened. When Israel decides to declare war on Hamas, that's a group, it's a political group and an ideology, right? That's sponsored by many different countries and other groups, right? Where people have a problem that they've seen bird's eye view is when Israel fights back with an organized army, military targets, air support, naval support, everything that an organized army or an unorganized army that the Palestinians have under Hamas. They feel, how can you fight a war? War is not fair. Period. Whoever has a better gun and has a strategy wins. But what you keep doing, creating a generation of revenge, and societies claim they're oppressed. So when you try to say that it wasn't genocide to what we did, till we got back at them, you're fighting a thought, not just a people. Because if Palestine is a country, it's not a recognized territory that has civil rights in its own territory. It's determined by who? The UN? The UN doesn't do shit for them. And I'm not trying to be pro-Pally, but let's lay the playing field level. It's people have a problem when they see war and on a catastrophe, like site, like seeing buildings leveled, and by smart bombs. These aren't regular bombs. These are not thousand bombs. It's smart bombs that take out neighborhoods. And when a militia fights against an organized army, there's no chance. But they count on one other thing that they know that they can get, and that's propaganda. That they know that visual aids through social media and global networks makes Israel look really fucking bad.
Basically, you expected Israel not to respond because hold on, no, I'm gonna finish what I'm saying. Because the Gazans can't protect themselves and they're not equipped like the Israeli army, right?
No, I'm not.
Maybe they shouldn't start. Maybe they shouldn't start war.
My whole question originally was, what did you expect them to do, though? But you responded to my question is, what did you expect Israel to do? Okay, we can look at Hamas.
The problem of what they feel is an unfair war.
Yeah, Israel can declare
Your feelings don't matter, Jason. Your feelings don't matter. Other people's feelings don't fucking matter.
Gaza people.
It does. You said I just know.
It's the same weapons that Israel had. What they will try to do. Try to imagine.
Listen, Israel doesn't care about international opinion more than it cares about surviving. So Israel existed from its independence or its declaration of a recreation of a state up until the mid-70s without almost any international support. They did it. They survived. They beat the odds. So now a bunch of people on campuses in the United States and ill-informed people are pretty mad that they see buildings blow up. Well, you know what? Here's how laws of armed conflict. If you're a militant and you use, even if you're a member of the U.S. Army and you use a hospital as a staging ground, that hospital loses its protected status. No one will fault you if you attack it. So you want to be mad. Of course, the same for Hamas, especially for Hamas. A mosque, of course, yeah, my message. A mosque, anything, when you use a building for terrorist activities or for military purposes, if it's a normal country, then that building loses its protected status. If you're so upset about so many buildings blown up, then you should take it up with Hamas at their next meeting.
This is not a personal picks at me.
Yeah, no,
it's what a globe is saying to people.
Jason, you're from Mexico, okay? Like, you know for a fact, that there was death. Oh, no, hold on a second. But if you know for a fact that if there was Americans getting, hold on, Jason.
If you're to talk to me about a colonizing idea of warfare, you're talking to the wrong fucking guy.
Okay, but no, this has nothing to do with colonizing. Hold on. I'm talking about contemporary. If you were Jason, if there was something tragic that happened to Americans, the Mexicans would not be celebrating. If you were to have a dead mangled girl being driven across the fucking border in a truck, okay, the Mexicans would not be spitting on it, hitting it, cheering. They would not do that. There is obviously something very different in how these people were brought up. And in comparison to really most groups in the world. I think you're kind of...
Let me ask Jason a question. Jason, if you're
thinking that I'm taking a position against Israel, and I'm not.
All right, Jason,
I'm pointing out that people cannot handle the sight of warfare.
and how it takes place.
That's a little too bad, though.
Yeah, Israeli can't
Because
get
that's
involved.
our reality, and we don't want the war either in the sight of war.
You know, so Jason,
honestly, like,
the comments he made about the professional army, how long do you think it would have taken Israel if it didn't care about civilian deaths or casualties? How long do you think it would have taken Israel to completely level or take over the Gaza Strip in its entirety? Give me a number, like a day, how many days, how many hours?
Strategically, with full all-out war in days. Easy.
So
You've got strategic bombs that can take out whole neighborhoods. We're not talking regular warfare. We're talking about decimating neighborhoods easy.
Jason, do you know what a battle group is?
I do know what a battle group is.
Okay. All right. So how far is it bound for a battle group in one day?
Depends on what you're using as a mechanism as far as your artillery and your mechanized movement, heavy machinery.
So the answer is 20 to 40 kilometers a day. Now, do you know how long?
Is that your estimate or is that your experience?
That's my experience.
What experience does that come from?
Well, when I finish the answer, you'll figure it out. I don't really want to talk about myself. But a combined arms maneuver unit, like a battle group, which is the smallest one that NATO countries use, can cover between 20 to 50 kilometers, depending on the terrain. Gaza is a flat expanse. The Israelis could have been taken 3 battle groups, not even 2, and position them in the south and move north. It's about 10 miles, so they could have done it in an afternoon. If they did, they'd kill hundreds of thousands of civilians. But if they didn't care about civilian death, that's what they would do. The fact that it took them almost 2 is because they were trying to isolate, identify Hamas terrorists, the targets, the tunnels, the depot, the muster points. That's what they were doing. Now, you have a great point. I'll give you this. It to the world. Well, again, the Israelis don't have the luxury of caring what you think or other people think. They have the luxury of defending their people. Hamas didn't. It wasn't Israel who declared war on Hamas. Hamas declared war on Israel by what they did on the 7th of October. There's no nice way to talk about it. There's no just way to sugar it.
I don't disagree with that at all. And that's the thing is like when you look at what the U.S. had to go through in Iraq, and also Afghanistan. 10 years of hardcore neighborhood war and lots of casualties, lots of fallout. So yeah, I understand.
I have to logistics. You do have to look at if you just
let your armed forces
take care, Grace.
without any restriction, it'd be done really easy.
Real quick, and here's the difference between the Americans' experience in Iraq and Afghanistan. This is on Israel's border. So this is Mexico or Canada doing something to the Americans. There would be an equal, if not greater, response by any other country. Israel is contained and constrained by world opinion, but even it had to act in this manner. It's unfortunate. No one wants to see people die, especially innocent people die. But Hamas gave Israel no choice, and you know who's at fault? All of us. The Western world is at fault. Because in 2007, when Hamas took over, everyone said to Israel, "Oh, make nice, just work with them." We would prefer not to, the Israelis said. But, don't get involved. Maybe we'll go back to the PA and there'll be another election. What did Hamas do? They threw PA officials off buildings and dragged them dead on ropes behind motorcycles. It is a death cult. I'm not saying all of Gaza is a death cult, but there's a large number of people who have bought into it and they've been raised by the system. Yes, there are Gazans who don't support Hamas, but even the ones that don't support Hamas aren't really fond of Jews either. So Israel's damned if it does.
No, those who don't support Hamas, those who don't support the Hamas, they still hate Israel.
That's what I just said.
Not that they are not fan of Israel. They hate Israel. There is a big difference between fan and hate. Big difference.
Yeah, no, it's an expression that is an issue. They're not a fan of Israel. It means they hate them. That's what it means.
So I'm looking at the question in the room where it says, is Zionism a supremacist by design? Is that a legitimate question? Does keep it self-sustaining? Is it really a supremacist? Or it's protecting its interests and its borders and its sovereignty? I don't think you can really put that word supremacist
And the equation speaker changed it, it's like she left, and I don't know what it was before.
But it's like, you've had, like, Jews and Muslims have been at war for a very, very long time. Revenge has never stopped. Battling has never stopped. They will not see eye to eye. That's the one thing, it's like, the world tries to play, like, you want to hand in your peace, but the only ones that can really solve it is the ones at hand, not us.
Jason, for the 98% of the history of the Islamic Caliphates, Jews were never at war with Muslims. Jews were a very small minority, so it's really not. It's really Jews were persecuted by the Middle East, a homogenous majority for 1,350 years. So it's not really like a tit for tat thing.
No, it's been a battle, and I understand Jews have had to migrate to many different areas for a long period of history of time. They've had to go to the north, they've had to go to Poland, Russia, and ongoing. They've had to find where they can live. If they can't live at home, I mean, my knowledge of
hold on, let me just say this, Jason. I want to hear your reply if you don't mind. Since before the creation of the state of Israel, there were a grand total of 0 times where Jews attacked Muslims. It just didn't happen because there was no Jewish army, there was no Jewish state. We've been in exile for 2,000 years. The only time anyone who's a Jew was able to be a part of a military and defend Jewish interest was the creation of the state of Israel, right? So I'm just taking particular umbrage to your comment. You said Jews and Muslims have been fighting since Simon's revenge. No, it's Muslim empires dominating Jews, exiling us here, exiling us there, killing us when it's convenient, using us when it's convenient. So this is not a like peer on peer war. You know what I'm trying to say? If you want to talk about Christianity and Islam,
no, I understand that.
Sure. Okay.
What I'm saying was never to be like I look like an anti-Semite or I'm pro-Palestine or I'm pro-Muslim. But when I look at things from an outsider view, not trying to, let's just say, persuade a point of like who gets better favor or who feel sorry for. Look, you fuck around and find out. You punch someone in the eye, don't be surprised they come and punch you in the gut later. It's just what happens.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it didn't start like this. So I agree with you, and I don't want your sympathy either, and I'm glad you're not giving it. I'm saying that from an Israel, I'm not Israeli, but I understand that I know I'm cousins in Israel, and I'll say this: if you go back to the land that someone else kicked you out of, and you buy your land back from the new people living there, and you build settlements, and you build cities, and you build a post office, and you build airlines, you do all of those things, and then you get to say, you know what, we're going to recognize you as a state. And then a bunch of other people, because you're Jewish, try to murder you and say, we will grind your bones into dust and finish the job that you didn't finish. If that happens and you win in that war, I don't fault an Israeli for saying, I don't really give a shit what you think. And I don't care what you trick other people into thinking, because I know where I come from and I know what we did to build this country, and I know that we came here not because of the 3,000-year-old promise. I hate that argument. Yes, Jews believe that, but Jews came back to the land using Jewish things. They purchased their country back from the people who took it from the people who took it from us. All right, so this is not a peer on peer. This is not a rectification, not a holy war between Islam and Judaism. This is a region that didn't develop like Europe. Europe had the Enlightenment. Napoleon emancipated the Jews. Different place, different cultures, different realities. But since the creation of the state of Israel, Israel has fought defensive wars time and time again and have always won. I would argue that the Palestinian refugee crisis is a very calculated attempt to isolate Israel, because the Arab countries cannot defeat Israel on the battlefield. Take it for what you will, for whatever reasons you believe. And so they figure we can delegitimize them by basically making these Arabs live in perpetual refugeehood. There's one international UN body for refugees, for hundreds of millions of refugees all over the world, and then there's a separate one for Palestinians for some bizarre reason. And in no case, in 0 cases for every human being on the planet, 0 cases where a refugee mom and dad move to Canada, there are 0 cases where their children, their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren are called refugees. If you hear this a lot, the previous lady who spoke wanted us to believe there are 5 million, 8 million Palestinian refugees. There weren't 5 million Palestinian Arabs in 1948 or 67. They're counting sons, grandsons, great-grandchildren, in some cases great-great-grandchildren. It is a refugee problem. It's a refugee problem that seems to grow. It doesn't help the Palestinians. In fact, it creates a culture of people who believe they've been really put out by the Jews or Israel, and it doesn't help them in the end. It's just that simple. You know how many Palestinians were displaced? That means people who fled before the war even started. And how many of them are alive today? Numbers range from 30,000 to 150,000. But if you look at the Palestinian, the UN Refugee Agency for Palestinians, they'll say there's 8 million Palestinian refugees. How is that physically possible? You don't become a refugee when your parents were born in Canada, and you're born in Canada, but you're of Palestinian extraction, and the Palestinian Authority gets, I think, $1,000 per male Palestinian person on the planet, and that's what funds the grift. They're not doing the things to make peace. They're not doing the things to build a country.
I agree. I'm not saying what you're telling me, and I've already heard so many times in so many different conversations repeat. Rafi makes the same room over and over. It's like to prove what? What do you want to know about Zionists? You want to know that they'll defend their country? Absolutely will. Do you want to know what's the difference between a Jew and a Zionist? Depends on how you support the government. And the thing is, where people get caught up in the middle and they start having opinions about other people's affairs, they don't like it when it's in their own backyard. Like, hey, I'm Mexican, okay? Where I live, this was colonized. This was taken and stolen away from its native-grown people. And then they tried to decimate us. They tried to wipe us out. They even tried to create platforms where we couldn't even breathe, because in order to live in the United States or live in your land, you had to agree to some kind of delicing treatment. What it was doing was making women fertile and making men impotent, and that was just one of the tactics that the U.S. used against its own people. So I understand exactly, when you want to, get what your colonized land is, like someone took it from you and you had to flee, and then you come back and then it's like, are you surprised they're fighting a war? No, I'm not surprised. And it's still going on now. We do here in the U.S. in California with the notion of ICE. ICE is used against brown people specifically, even if they're American citizens. And you people, my wife included, have had to walk around with fear of being hunted. We know exactly the costs. When we hear other people's debate and problems, we're just looking at, like, there are people in my culture that support Palestine 100%. There are people in my culture that don't. But I think when we try to play a hand, try to solve it for them, that's a problem. I don't want to fight somebody else's fight. That's
right. Someone's asking you to fight Israel's fight. They don't.
Yeah, I mentioned that it was the Muslims. It was Muhammad that represented genocide towards the Jews. It was also Muhammad that exiled Jews from Medina and Christians. Like, you see it in their own scripture.
So I have a question. You're correlating a point of history of what's been accused of the Jews.
I didn't say accused of the Jews. I was making an accusation towards the Muslims, towards the Jews, and towards Christians. Like, I'm an atheist, so I don't really have a dog in the fight. But I'm just saying, like, Islamic history, it says that Muhammad, after a battle, he asked, hey, how do we do with these people? And allegedly, a Jewish rabbi said, oh, execute all the men. And Muhammad lined up 600 people, men, boys, pulled down their trousers, and then they had pubic hair, and he chopped off their fucking heads and threw them in a ditch. Now, that's the first instance of genocide that we historically really know about, of like lining up a certain group of people and eradicating them to where the men cannot have children and women become sex slaves. This is just historical fact.
This region, that's your first notion of genocide.
This region?
Yes.
No, he's referring to the relationship between Islam and Jews, and